Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Small Screen Star Wars. As always, I am Julian Mush. I am joined by Rachel Wilkinson.
Hello.
I like to scoot over a little bit, maybe give you a little bit more space.
It's all good.
It's just a wider chair than usual.
It's okay. New chair.
Should we start over?
That's fine.
No, we shouldn't. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the best episode of this series so far, probably.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
Comes with a lot of action, not a lot of dialogue, but a lot of revelations and some crazy moments.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna break that all down. So stay tuned for that. Before we get into it, we have a little bit of Star Wars news. I have a Black Series figure that we need to open on air.
Okay.
That I got. I had the day off last Friday.
Okay.
I took a day off because I was like, I just want to take a nice summer day off.
That's fine. Yeah.
And
As
so,
you should.
and that's when I ended up going to the mall and spending a bunch of money. And you know how you like sometimes just like, I'm gonna give myself a little treat.
Yeah.
You know, I have a problem where it's like every time that idea comes to my head, there's nothing that stops me from giving myself a little treat.
Gotcha.
So the treats become a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
But it has been a while since I bought a Black Series figure. This one, alas, has no connection to the Acolyte in any way.
It'd be wild if it did. I don't think they've made Acolyte figures yet, have they?
No, but I tell you what, there are some crazy Andor ones. Like Bix Colleen has one, and it's like, I don't know, is anyone really looking for a Bix Colleen action figure? I'm not, personally.
Have you seen any of the Christmas ones that come out sometimes?
Christmas ones? Oh, they're like recolored?
Yeah, they're like super goofy. So they're like I'm trying to think. It'll be like, what were the ones we have? They're wild. There's a Wookiee and he's all white, but he has like Christmas themed like a backpack kind of thing or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, they have like all Christmas themed ones. So like there'll be a Boba Fett one, but he looks like he's wearing a ugly Christmas sweater.
What I just
they're
do,
like red and green. Like
what I do for that is
obnoxious.
I just put little tiny Christmas hats, little Santa hats onto my action figures.
That's...
I one year I bought like a 30 pack of those. And so every year for Christmas, I go around and I put little hats on Cody and on Rex.
Pretty cute.
And Vader gets one too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I make a Star Wars nativity scene.
Oh, that's a great idea.
with Grogu.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah. With
Grogu,
no,
that's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you can see, if you're watching live, and of course we record this every Wednesday around 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's been more like 8, to be honest. If we're being honest.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Central Time on Twitch and YouTube. And so if you're not doing that, I encourage you to come by, stop in, and enjoy the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, speaking of conversation, lots of conversation happening on the Discord.
Yeah, it was good. I like that today.
Yeah.
To chit chat. But I mean, it's such an exciting episode. Like we obviously that was going to happen. But
yeah, exactly.
Love it.
And speaking of Discord, I'm trying to open it right now, and it's just it's.
I can see that it's struggling. It's updating
one of 15, and it was having a hard time there. Anyway, we have a exclusive Discord channel for our patrons. So if you want to help support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/TowerBabblecast. And for as little as $5 a month, you get access to a bonus episode. We do a monthly film club that's exclusive as well. But you also get access to the Discord, where we have, unlike that hellscape we call Twitter or X, we have a very healthy and respectful community.
It is, and I love that.
They're very nice people.
Everyone's awesome in there. And
they're all friends of the show.
Yes,
just to be clear,
real friends of the show.
Not unlike Ryan Airy, who doesn't know we exist, but. One day
he'll acknowledge us.
I'm gonna reach out to him. I'm gonna get him on the show.
One day he'll be our friend in real life.
Exactly. But yeah, no, we a lot of chit chat about this week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Some theories. I'm really excited because there's a lot of, spoilers for this week's episode. We'll just drop it right now.
Yeah.
Chimere is the master. Who would have guessed? But there's still other possibilities and new theories that have arisen from that I wasn't expecting, and that's really fun.
Right. I don't think he's like the main.
There's
master.
another one.
I think he's I think there's someone above him.
That
sure.
is one of my favorite. Current.
And for the record, you didn't think it was Chimere at the beginning. You said there's no way they're going to introduce a Sith Lord in the first episode. Blah,
Is that
blah,
what
blah.
I said?
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said.
Well, it does sound like the stubbornness that I would bring to
You're
the
like,
conversation.
it's too early. It's too early to have introduced him in the first episode.
Well, I mean, I guess by episode 2, my tone had changed quite drastically. I mean, I guess episode 2 was the premiere, so maybe by episode 3, my tone had changed. But I would say that, like, in retrospect, it's quite obvious. And then, I have a whole like tangent to go on about this whole thing, and I know people are disappointed that it's like it wasn't someone else, but it really couldn't have been someone else because, like, it would have been very confusing if the helmet came off and you're like, who? You know, like,
it made sense. Like, I get it that maybe they were a bit too obvious with it being him. Like, but
you know what? And as I said, I have a whole theory on that. And I'll get to that. It relates to Palpatine. We'll just put it that way.
Interesting.
I think it's a cool.
Well, then
I think it's. I like it.
We'll
Obviously, I came up with it, but I came up with it. No, I didn't come up with it. It's just a fun kind of way to think about it. But before we get into that, let's open this action figure. So what we have here is a Black Series Attack of the Clones Phase 1 Clone Trooper.
Oh, Phase 1.
Phase 1. And so this is a resculpt because I actually have a Phase 1 Clone Trooper in my diorama behind. Is it a diorama? What's it called when you have like a
display?
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know.
I have a Phase 1, like, it's got the like red paint, so I think it's a captain, right? This is before they had like their unique paint jobs. It's like the paint, the color represented like their rank.
Gotcha.
And that was true in Attack of the Clones, and you had like the yellow lieutenants and stuff like that. And I think I have those right, but the colors I might have wrong. But it's on the far left.
I don't know.
Far right, if you're looking.
Oh,
backwards.
yes. It's got the little mohawk.
Exactly. And so this one, which is unique about it, is the whole thing has been resculpted, but it also has a removable helmet. So you actually have
that's cool.
the actual look of
the clone look.
The clone's head.
The Tamura Morrison look.
Which is dope. In general, the early sculpts of the clone troopers by the Black Series are kind of not great, in my opinion. Like my commander Cody back there isn't as good and even though that one has a removable helmet, isn't as good as some of the later stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then a lot of them didn't have removable helmets at all. Like I have a bunch of other clones in there that don't have removable helmets. So this is cool. I'm excited to add this. I would love more just base ones. Like finding just a base stormtrooper is very hard.
It's hard, yeah.
Which is really weird. The ones I have are technically they're not like standard clone troopers. I mean, they are technically, but they're they're from the video games. So they're a standard clone trooper, but they were like re-released, and like when it says from Attack of the Clones on the bottom here, it's from the video game. So that was the only way I was able to get 2 of them. Because I think standalone, if you buy them on like resold, they're like $70.
Yeah, they're expensive.
And I'm not paying $70 for a $30 action figure.
What did I pay? I paid a stupid amount to get Grievous. I think I paid like $99 to get Grievous.
For some of those, it might be worth it. Grievous is hard to find.
He's hard to find, and it was cool. And I was like, I was like, I gotta just do it. So, but
what's your favorite? Like, do you have a prized possession in your Black
Series?
Series?
Out of them? Yeah. Ooh, we've got some good Obi-Wans.
Have I told you how I don't like any of them that actually have faces? I know I was telling you that, like, this one has a removable helmet. I'll just be straight up. This helmet, once it's on, it's probably never coming off.
Right. Actually, we have both. Oh, no. Is it just... I think we have both. BT and 000. They're like they're Dr. Aphra's like murder droids.
Yeah,
they're really cool.
I need more droids. I think in general, I need more droids.
The droids are really cool, but...
And people are probably thinking, like, why am I opening this? I'm not precious about that.
No, he's not.
I don't care.
Ours are all in the packaging.
Yeah, that
still. They take up
I tell you,
so much.
You know what's more fun? Playing with them.
Playing with them, yeah.
Than just looking at them.
I know.
So
I don't know. Like, I feel like that might just be not like a temporary thing, maybe. I feel like when we get an actual house and we have space,
maybe
they might actually be a little bit more like opened up. Because I don't think Adam's super like crazy about keeping them in packaging. I don't know.
If you think about it, I don't really think these are going to be big investment opportunities.
No.
And unless you are planning on using them as an investment, then you might as well just open them and enjoy them.
Yeah,
I do save the boxes, so I can always put them back in, but it's obviously not the same.
No, it's not.
Right?
Actually, I'm pretty sure we have one of the ones, the Chewbacca with the C-3PO and the net backpack.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there's just so many. Every time I go, and I think it's like, well, would I want an Andor season 1? Obviously not Bix Colleen. She's cool and all, but like there's other ones from that series that like, and all of them are not great because they're all just people.
Yeah,
and it's like it just looks like it's just like a standard human action figure of just like regular person. Even what's her name? The red hair. What's her name?
Mara Jade?
No.
Oh, the red hair.
In charge of the rebels. What's her name?
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
Even Mon Mothma, who has like a really cool like cloth outfit situation going on, is still like, I'm never gonna buy that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, we have a new clone trooper to add to the collection. And so if you're ever looking for gifts, if you're ever thinking, what would be a nice gift for the guys at the folks over at Tower of Babel and small screen, it's as many clone troopers as possible. To be honest,
he's very specific about which ones he wants and their faces. So just
if they have a helmet, you're spot on. You're golden. And I would love a Grievous.
I'm biased, but your Chrysanthemum's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Chrysanthemum's
not because I got it for you.
You're right. And if to the eagle-eyed viewers out there, he's hanging out in his own little jungle up next to the on-air sign up there somewhere.
I think it's a little too dark to see him.
Really
he's in the plant pot.
Yeah. But he's just in disguise because he's an assassin.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we've delayed long enough here. Let's get into the news a little bit. So I will just quickly mention that, speaking of Andor season 2, there's been a little bit more people talking about what's going to happen with it. The actor's been more vocal, and some news has dropped. Really, the only thing that I care about as far as Andor season 2 news is that Ben Mendelsohn is set to return as Orson Krennic, which is very cool. Yeah. I always thought he was despite people having, I think, odd reactions to that scene where he gets choked out by Vader and don't choke on your aspirations, director.
It's so good.
It's so good. I think it's great.
It's so great.
But some people don't like that. I think Krennic brings a very, or Ben Mendelsohn specifically, brings a really kind of naturalistic performance to a role that he's literally surrounded by a guy wearing a mask and the other guy whose face is like transplanted on because... For Tarkin, they did that like weird de-aging that looks or like weird face thing. It's weird, right? That's kind of maybe the biggest gripes on Rogue One.
Right.
So
yeah. He looks a little too polished.
It just no matter how you look at it, at some moments, if you pause it, it looks normal, but any moving of the face and it's all of a sudden it's like, because
looks like a deep fake.
It's just weird. And like, but you can do better deep fakes now. So I would, one of those times where it's like, I think you guys should just go back and fix it. Go back and fix all of the deep fakes you did for Luke in all of the Mando ones. Fix those. Fix the Leia one. Fix the Tarkin one. And just
they probably will eventually.
I hope so. But... Like a new special edition type thing. Anyways, that's cool. I'm really just excited because me and my girlfriend, I've shown her all of the Star Wars movies. We haven't seen Solo and we haven't seen Rogue One. And the reason for that is we're going to watch Andor season 1 and season 2 and then Rogue One.
Gotcha.
So it'll be a unique experience for her. To like watch it in chronological order. Yeah. And then we'll start the whole thing over again. Watch episode 4 and just jump right back in.
Go right back into it.
Exactly. So that's cool. And then more specifically to the Acolyte, and I'm going to pull up my phone because I'm going to read this off my phone. Leslie Headland made some statements, obviously the showrunner for the Acolyte. One being about the lesbian witches.
Okay.
Which is we all know isn't necessarily what they are. And she talks about that. And another one.
Couldn't be. Who cares?
Yeah. So here, I'll just here's what so the Acolyte creator Leslie Headland on criticisms that the show is an LGBTQ series, which is weird. Okay. It's a weird thing to even say that can be used as a criticism, but sure.
It's not. Yeah, that's not a criticism, but I
think these are both really well made statements. Quote, I don't believe that I've created queer, and to be clear that she is also queer. So so she's coming at it from that perspective. So maybe that's why people have colored it that way. But anyway, quote, I don't believe that I've created queer with a capital Q content. I'm proud of being a gay woman who's accomplished this feat. And certainly if my content is called queer, I don't want to disown whatever queerness is in the show.
Right.
I would be proud to create something that has inspired queer people. Honestly, I feel sad that people would think that if something were gay, that it would be bad. It makes me feel sad that a bunch of people on the internet would somehow dismantle what I consider to be the most important piece of art I've ever made.
Right.
Which, again, I think is a fair statement to say. She's saying,
Absolutely.
listen, I am a queer person, so my queerness is injected into my creation just by how art works as a part of us, right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't feel like she made that intentionally so, right? But she also doesn't want to say that it's not because... again, it's art is living and it comes with us as a human.
It's so subtle that it's just like, again, it doesn't matter. Like,
and again, they're not necessarily witches or lesbians. So this is her following up on that, specifically on that. So this is about using the term lesbian space witches, which people on the internet have rightly pointed out is pretty badass, actually.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
As shit. I love that.
So, quote, they're in a matriarchal society. As a gay woman, I knew it would read that their sexuality is queer, but there also aren't any men in their community. So a closeness between the two of them would be natural.
Yeah.
It seemed plot-driven. I would say it's really reductive to call them lesbians. I think it means you're not really paying attention to the story.
You're really not, yeah.
Because, again, nowhere in... And there's a whole back and forth thing. I'm not going to get into my continued failings to escape the pit that is Twitter and X.
Yeah.
I keep trying to pull myself out, and they keep pulling me back in. But there's this whole back and forth about like, oh no, they're people just basically assuming all these things. Oh, well, they have to be lesbians because there's only women, and she, they're her May and Osha's parents. It's like, well, no, that's not necessarily how that works either.
No.
We're making assumptions based on our understanding of parentage. Yeah. This is a communal family. They're not even necessarily their parents.
No,
right?
They call them mother, but it's like that's also.
But like they call them all that.
Yes.
So
exactly.
it's like, it's very. It's not as cut and dry as saying, well, they're lesbians because they live in a coven of women, and it's not as cut and dry as saying, oh, May and Osha are. Mother Anastaea's kids when we don't really understand how they were conceived or how that parentage works.
Yeah.
Right. All this stuff is still largely unknown. And I need to remind the folks out there who may still be upset. The story's not done yet. There's still lots of time for this to be sorted all out before the end of the series.
It's not even relevant to the story. It's not central to the story. And it's like, I love what she says about that. Like, she's not going to take it away if like there are queer people that are like, oh, that's awesome. Like, and if they're identifying with those characters and like excited about them, whatever. That like, she's not going to take that away from them. But at the same time, it's like it's not supposed to be a negative thing either. I don't know. People have like a real hard issue, I think, especially with women in general, at least the ones that I associate with and know. I feel like
the ones you associate know that I also know.
Yeah.
I have a big problem with them too.
No.
I'm
just saying that the women that I know and I associate with, like, our sexuality in general is probably a lot more fluid than most men on Twitter. And like they get so up in their like stagnant ways about like everybody is either straight or not and blah blah blah. And it's like, not really though, because it's like there's so many people that are like, I'm marrying a man, I've definitely kissed my best friend, it doesn't matter. Like if you see me and my girlfriends out and about and like loving on each other and like hugging and cuddling and whatever, it doesn't mean we're gay. Just like, and it doesn't mean that we're not. It's just like, it's such a fluid thing, and there's a different way that people show affection and love and caring for someone else, especially in terms of like a matriarchal society that cares for children and cares for each other. There's such a different way of like showing affection and love and partnership there, and it's just like, it doesn't matter.
I think people would like things to be more black and white.
They do, and it's like,
and life's just not really like that.
It's not like that, and it's just like cool. And it's like, are you that threatened by a made up believe witch coven?
Yes,
like just
unfortunately,
ignore it, man. Like,
again, from my perspective, I really appreciate these statements because it's, as you said, it's not reductive in any way. It's not saying, oh, well, if you think they're lesbians, that's wrong. She's saying,
no.
She said, he admits, she rightly knew that could be read that way.
Yeah.
But that wasn't.
And that's fine.
But she said that, I think is more important and kind of more to what I was kind of talking about and we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, which is that if you take that information in context with all the other information you're given about the nature of their communal relationship, that you can't just say, oh, well, they're lesbian witches. It's like, well, I think there's more like if
more to it
you're ignoring all this other information so you can jump to your conclusion that you want to reach
and be mad about it. Yeah. So you just want to be mad. Like, and it's
everyone's just mad online all the time.
Using that to be mad is annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, but whatever. We can't beat that
go back
to death.
2 episodes and you can hear our big,
rant.
Big rant, and where we expel all the negativity.
Yeah.
So we're not going to bring any more of that. This is Leslie Hedman also trying to do a little bit of that and getting ahead of it, and I think she does a good job of it.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, let's get into our review and recap. Before we do that, I'll just remind everyone to follow us on Twitter at Tower Babblecast, Facebook.com/Tower Babblecast, and as I mentioned before, head over to Patreon.com/Tower Babblecast to help support the show, keep the lights on, join the Discord, and be part of the conversation. If you want to be a part of the conversation, but you don't really feel like paying us, that's fair. Watch us live on Wednesday evenings, Twitch and YouTube. Subscribe to us there. You'll get notified when we go live, and then in the chat, we'll. I'm trying to think of what the next word would be. I wanted to say chat again, but we'll just chit chat. As the show's going on. So looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, come be part of the show.
It's fun. All right, so this is a 34-minute runtime, same as last week, which I think is cool. You have 2. It's called Night, right? Which I think we all, rightly pointed out seemed likely.
Yeah, was likely to
be the title for this week's episode.
Yeah.
You're still banking on there being another one called Fate.
Fate. I think we're going to get another episode called
Fate. Because
there's 3 episodes left. I think one of those is going to be Fate, and then the other 2 are going to coincide with each other.
Okay. My personal OCD problem with that is that
they're not in order. But they're flashbacks, so they don't need to be in order.
I guess. I think
you
it's
can
also
go watch them in order, and it's probably fine.
Oh yeah, probably fair enough. Also, you could do the machete cut for the Acolyte.
Yeah.
2 34-minute episodes, the reflections of each other. That's kind of an interesting kind of comparison. Sorry, it's not that interesting of a comparison. It's just a fun thing to note. What was I going to say? Oh, the log line for this week's episode, because I forgot to do it last week. By the way, if you tuned in last week and you didn't hear us speaking in the YouTube or Twitch, it's because something had changed in our OBS settings and our mics weren't turned on.
Yeah,
so
sorry
about that. If anyone had just popped in and said, "Oh, we can't hear you talking," I could have fixed it in the show. But
yell at us next time.
Just yell at me if something's not working.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for everyone who's given us patience. Because I didn't read I just all messed up last week. Didn't read the log line till the very end of the show.
Amateur hour here.
It was.
That's why we don't have any sponsors yet.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Working on it.
Come on, exactly. All right, so in a dense jungle, the Jedi are put to the test when they confront a rising darkness. Appropriately vague, as they typically are. Directed by Alex Garcia Lopez, written by Cor Adana, Cameron Squires, and Leslie Headland. Alex Garcia Lopez, the director, longtime TV director.
Okay.
Has done shows that you've probably heard of on Netflix. Cowboy Bebop, that show people didn't really like. Directed 2 episodes of The Witcher. 1 episode of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which was that Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh yeah, I watched that show.
Remake.
I liked it.
The Punisher, Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger, Luke Cage, so lots of Marvel stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead, and a few others. So, has some TV chops here. I think this is a relatively well directed episode. I do have some gripes about some decisions they make about where and when they cut away, especially early in the episode.
I can see that. Yeah, there's a couple odd ones.
Or one in particular that stands out to me is when Sol says, "You carry a Jedi weapon, but you are no Jedi."
Yeah.
And then it's like,
I thought that
sick, and then cut away. It's like, well, what the hell are we doing here?
I thought that cut was weird too. Yeah. And I immediately know, I was like, oh, Juice is going to hate that.
Yeah, no, it's just such a poor way of maintaining momentum. It just undercuts the drama.
Yeah.
And the stakes. It's anyway, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. And should we read an IMDb review? It's a 6 out of 10.
I was wondering. I was like, I want to see a negative review and why, because that, I just don't think you can write a negative review about this episode.
This one, we'll see, but I just read the first sentence and I think you're going to be disappointed. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from IMDb user ID Heart 47059. And it's a 6 out of 10, as I mentioned, titled Good Action for a Change. So yeesh. As others have pointed out, the only highlight from this entire episode was the fights. They were fast-paced, impactful, filmed well, and actually progressed the story and weren't just there to be there. Story beats got in the way of fighting, which was cringy and predictable at times, but with the bar so low, this is impressive. Glad to see more hand-to-hand combat in combination with the sabers. The action was actually good and enjoyable to watch. The good fighting does not excuse the terrible writing and direction. Story is so predictable, it's boring and hard to watch. Luckily, there wasn't much dialogue. Stunts popped off this episode. So, yeah, I agree that the fights were great. I disagree that the story got in the way.
No.
If anything, the balance of the two I think was pretty well struck.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a very action oriented episode.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Almost entirely. I was saying, I can't remember if I said it on the Discord or if I said it on Twitter somewhere, but this is an episode you could just pluck out and stand alone and show it to somebody and be like, check this out. This is cool Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And, you wouldn't really need to know what's going on, have context. You could, I think, figure it out as it goes and get a lot out of this episode.
Yeah.
So I watched it very late last night.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it until like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
But and I had some beers because it was coming off of hockey. We went to BP. We ordered two team pitchers. And there was 5 of us.
Ate some terrible food.
The pizza was fine.
Boston Pizza's food is so bad.
It's not great. And it's way overpriced. The thing is, when you're getting the team pizzas and you're getting the team pitchers, it's at least affordable.
It makes it worth it. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But no,
I get
BP
that.
sucks balls. I hate that place. Anyway, and like their beer's always flat, and like it's like they have 6 beers on tap. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, but sometimes you just want a crushable Coors Original or whatever.
Yeah. After a hockey game, I get it.
So anyway, we had 2 of those, and we were looking at the second one, and we were like, "Man, that's a lot of beer."
Aren't team pitchers like?
It's at least 5, maybe 6 or 7 pints.
Yeah.
So anyway, I came home after that, and I sat down and I watched this episode, and I was just loving every second of it. It really felt like it threw me right back to being a 10-year-old boy watching the, how old was I? Yeah, about 10 when the prequels were coming out, and just being amazed by the choreography and the lightsaber combat. And there is absolutely top-notch lightsaber combat here.
It's great.
Yes, it's really, really good. And it makes Ahsoka look stupid in comparison. Like, I'm sorry.
I know.
Like, the further we get away from Ahsoka, the worse I feel like it looks from a action perspective, especially.
Right. Yeah.
And visually, because it's so bland. I just feel like there's like a gauze all over the screen all the time.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't look great. But if you just think about that scene where Ahsoka and I can't remember who's all in this. It's like the final episode or whatever, when they're like fighting all those zombie troopers.
Right.
And it's so slow and not dynamically shot in any way. There are some cool moments, like individual action beats that work, but as a whole, it's just not as nearly as engaging as we get here. And I feel like they pull their punches a lot, where they cut away from things like lightsabers through heads and those types of things.
No, this one was like graphic. Like it's been a while, I feel like, for me watching Star Wars content. Star Wars content.
You got there.
That I was like audibly like gasping.
Oh yeah, me too.
And like being like, whoa, and like just being like, huh, like because just a lot of those things didn't really expect coming. And I was like, holy shit, they really went hard.
Yeah,
and I was like, makes sense for the storyline purposes.
Yeah,
but it's like, whoa, it's wild.
They pulled no punches, and it's exciting to me. It reminds me of I think we've talked about this a little bit before, about like in general, the Star Wars shows have felt like they're stakes, like they're missing stakes, because no one feels in danger at any time.
Yeah.
And often, and it's like we talk about the prequel problem. We know where these characters end up, and therefore we can't really be that invested. And of course, there's other things. We talk about this all the time, right? There's other stakes than just life and death, and that we can get. Of course, yeah. There's interesting things that we can glean or learn about these characters that aren't related to whether or not they die in a particular fight sequence. How do they get out of it? Who knows? Those kinds of things. That being said, I will say it is like a breath of fresh air to have real stakes again.
Yeah.
And in the sense of like anyone can die at any moment type of stakes.
Yes.
And you know, I certainly thought that at least Jecki and Yord were safe to come out of this episode. And,
I know.
And like R.I.P.
I was
harsh,
so sad. Right? I know. I really like Jecki. Hers hit me hard. I was like, fuck.
Did you see the video of her training? Like the behind the scenes video of her training? It's really cool.
Like she's so good.
Yes.
Like those fight sequences with her. Like, just all of it so good. Like I was just, fighting was just great. Same with like the Sith Lord there. I keep forgetting his name. Kamir.
Kamir. Manny Jacinto. Yeah.
Really cool fighting style from him. I just think, like it was just a very different kind of style. It was very heavy, very hard hitting, like lots of low moves. It was just interesting. And lots of
Yord says,
dirty Sith moves too.
He doesn't follow the rules of combat.
No, he doesn't. Because, why would he? Like, he's not going to follow the Jedi codes of like sword fighting.
Right. What does he say?
There's no honor in the Sith.
If you never follow the rules, you can't break them or whatever. You don't have to break them. I think, it reminds me of, Game of Thrones. And I know that's like an easy comp, but for me, it's like, when Ned is decapitated in season 1 of that show. And by the way, got a little surprised we didn't get a decapitation in this episode.
We did.
We did?
You just didn't see it.
Oh, is that off? It happened off screen?
It doesn't happen off screen, but it happens in shadow, so you don't see it. When he pulls the 2 onto his lightsaber, he comes up.
Oh, okay.
After.
I missed that beat. I was too wowed by the
I noticed
Jedi shish kebab
I noticed it on the second watch. I was like, whoa, he did that, and then he cut at least
my bad.
one of
So we
heads
actually
off.
did get a decapitation, and so that...
I'm almost positive.
So now it's even more like Game of Thrones. But all I'm saying is that when that happened in that show, it set an expectation that anyone could die.
Yes.
And I think what's interesting here is that I think we as an audience, or at least I'll say myself anyway, kind of forgot about the things like the precedent that we've set in the past.
Yeah.
When they did Rogue One, we all said at the time, well, none of these characters can survive because we know exactly what happens moments after the end of this movie when A New Hope starts.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what? None of those characters survive. They all die at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
Right? And that was pretty cool, right? Like a true tragedy.
Yeah.
And we, in a similar situation here, kind of maybe deluded ourselves to think that, there's a Sith here, but they'll explain it away in some way. But as Kamir says here, you've seen our face, therefore I have to kill every single one of you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not allowed to exist, right?
Yeah. No, and it does make sense for the story's purposes, because that's like the one main thing where people are like, oh, how is this even going to happen? And then how do they not know, right? And it's like, well, if they all die, then like absolutely. But it's like there is going to have to be some sort of like story to cover, like it's obviously mysterious that all these Jedi are dead, right? So like, we're going to have to see something with this like council of like figuring, like, trying to like
piece it together,
right? But again, it's that arrogance of the Jedi at this time.
They're like, well, it can't possibly be the Sith. It's just someone with a random lightsaber going around killing killing Jedi.
Murdering everyone.
So Grand Admiral Hawk Tua, which is a hilarious name, by the way, Grand Admiral. In the YouTube chat here, they should develop more of the characters. The characters are not memorable or rememberable. They won't be remembered 10 years from now. Nobody will care about them. Everything is rushed. So, listen, fair enough criticism. My I guess pushback on that would be this. I think we all knew last episode that half of those, if not more of those Jedi, were there specifically to be killed. I don't think anyone had any other expectation for that.
No.
People have used the red shirt comparison. That's a Star Trek term, but this idea that the disposable characters, right? And again, I think that's not unexpected. I think you're allowed to use characters that are disposable.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to know every single one. Think of the scene in, we were just talking about Attack of the Clones at the beginning of this episode with the clone trooper.
Yeah.
Think of the scene at the Genosha arena, right? All these Jedi, right?
Yeah.
We barely know any of them.
Mhm.
We only know like 2 by name at that point.
Yep.
And a bunch of them die. A few of them die. We see them die. I think Jango Fett gets one. There's a few other deaths in there, right? And it's like, I'm not emotionally connected to that. It's cool seeing a bunch of Jedi in combat, and some might die. That's just a kind of a nature of the game here.
Yeah.
And I like the last thing would be, we did get 4 episodes of development for Yord and Jecki, and I personally was connected to those characters. I did think that they were interesting. I thought there was more to story to tell with them, and both of them died in this episode. So I disagree. I don't think that they are completely disposable and won't be remembered. We got more development for these characters than most of the characters who died in episode 2. And then they kind of backfilled that with Clone Wars episodes. Yeah. Right. I'm trying to think, who's the Jedi with the green fish guy. Remember what's his name again?
I keep wanting to say it's not Kayamandi. It's
anyway.
Yeah,
he dies in that scene.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, in the scene with
you get more of him in Clone Wars, but
yeah, you do. But I'd say he gets killed by Palpatine, kind of like nonchalant, right? Barely gets kind of in that scene. We have there's a lot of criticism for that scene because he does that like force jump, that spin thing, and then kills 3 of them like really fast, and then
Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto. Thank you.
There we go. Took a second.
Yes,
I knew it was a
thank
K.
you, Ray. And Travis, great friend of the show. Good to see you. Thank you for being in here.
Yeah.
So that all happens. Sith Lord kills those Jedi, and no one cared really, because then it was the Mace Windu fight.
Well,
right?
and here's the thing about all this too. Like Vernestra and Indira are also characters in the books. Yes. So like, and I know they're not involved in necessarily like this stuff and whatever, they're still alive. So there's part of that. But then also, we don't necessarily know yet where the rest of the story is going to go. Maybe this is a Sith story, and maybe it's not about the Jedi.
They have said specifically, Leslie Headland said that she wanted to tell the story from the Sith
perspective. So it's not really about the Jedi. It's not about getting to know them. It's not about falling in love with these characters. It's about a lot of them dying at this point. And I'll agree with you. I was also I was emotionally invested with Jecki.
I love
and
Jecki.
Yord.
I thought she was so
loved
cool.
Jecki. I thought she was cool too. So it's like I for sure thought there was enough.
And
enough build up for that.
I mean, I'm genuinely shocked when both of them were killed.
Absolutely,
and were done in a shocking way. And so, anyway, fair enough criticism. We're not going to say that you feel differently. But I hope that gives you some context for at least our perspective. Travis Mitchell though calls the Palpatine move the Darth NATO, which is a great name and then should be patented. And Lucasfilm should adopt that. That's great. I always thought, because in Battlefront 2 you can play as Palpatine, and that's one of his special moves, to do this spin, and it's so silly. It's so funny, and it's funny that people think it's kind of reached this kind of cult status. Anyway,
okay, you know what's funny? It's not a move in my EA game where maybe it should be. So.
Right. Indara, not Indira. But
Indara,
yes,
sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, thanks, Travis. Okay, thank you for keeping us honest. That's why we need you folks in the chat sometimes. And because my inability, due to my dyslexia, to remember proper nouns, which is why I think of Kit Fisto as the fish guy and not Kit Fisto. Okay, so let's get into general thoughts on the episode. I think we talked a little bit about this, but there's a few things I wanted to mention before we get into the actual.
Oh yeah, we have corrections.
There's one correction.
I knew this last week, but I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
About
I was
the Plo Koon thing?
Yeah, I was
it wasn't Plo Koon.
It wasn't Plo Koon, and I was doubting myself.
And he's super dead now.
That was Plo Koon.
Yeah, he gets stabbed right through the chest.
Yeah. He's that one. Yeah,
pretty sure
that's not Plo Koon.
There's another name. I bet. Anyway, I was wrong about that. But it's what.
It's fine. You're allowed to be wrong.
Exactly.
It's easy to understand. We haven't really seen that another of that species before. So.
Okay, Travis, you need to start patenting these names. He calls Basil the Caddyshack Gopher or the Shackleite, which is great.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put this out there. I watched Caddyshack only once many years ago, and I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I like Bill Murray a lot, but and I like what's his name? Oh shit, from Community. But that movie just doesn't really do it for me. Anyway, that's fine. I'd probably just need to rewatch it. So, a couple things. I was talking earlier about Chevy Chase. That's the name of it.
Yes, right.
Chimere, and this whole Palpatine reveal, the Master being Chimere and this connection to Palpatine. So there's a lot of hand-wringing, it seemed like, online around this idea that it was too obvious that he was the Master the whole time, and that this whole alternate persona wasn't believable, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Which made me think about Palpatine in the prequels, because and there's also some stuff around like people saying, oh, why couldn't the Jedi sense this great, force threat, right?
Yeah,
I mean, same thing around Palpatine. They literally had meetings with him,
right,
and were in the same room with him, and they were chit-chatting about, galactic politics, and couldn't place that he was a Sith Lord and he was right under their nose, right? So I think it's well established at this point that Darksiders are able to disguise their presence in the Force. It seems obvious to me. More importantly, though, in retrospect, Chimere, that whole kind of alternate persona feels very much like a new take on the Chancellor Palpatine persona, which, when you compare it to the Emperor, is very different, right? You can even think about when in Rebels, when he's trying to, seduce Ezra to the dark side, and he's doing it like he's brought the whole temple onto that ship, and he's like, he's doing this whole thing. Oh, you'll see your parents. Just unlock this portal for me, and you can see your parents, right? And he's using the Chancellor Palpatine persona, right? But then you think of how different they are, and how seemingly obvious I think it is that he's a Sith Lord, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
yeah.
These Jedi should be smart enough to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
He literally just wears a little hood over his head, and that's enough
and
to
it's like you still see
him.
the whole bottom of his face,
right? His chin,
like,
which is very distinct chin.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just feel like we give these things a pass, but then we're like ultra critical of this idea that, oh well, it's too obvious that Chimere is the Master, and I just think, and obviously that's in a prequel, so you can kind of play it a little bit differently, but I think in rewatch here and for this, I think it'll come across really strong as this alternate persona designed specifically for manipulation.
Yeah. And I do think we're going to see not necessarily like another Sith Lord, but I don't think he's the main big bad. I think I know, I was giggling at that too.
Okay, I'll just say, Travis, Plo Koon's species looks like a kid stuffed a Transformer toy into an apple fritter.
Yeah.
And that is just cruel to me. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
by the way, they're called Keldor. That's the name of the species.
I see.
Species,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I definitely think there's more to it, because it was so kind of easy for the audience to pick it out. So I feel like because it was so easy for the audience to pick out, there's still more to it.
Or maybe it was kind of along the lines, and as you said, I think you said that there's a chance that he's not the big bad.
He's not like he's also like he's an apprentice,
right.
And like
there's this
he's
Thanos
looking for an acolyte,
because
he's not saying he wants an apprentice,
right?
He's saying he wants an acolyte, which is
pupil.
Very specific in the whole realm of the way Sith do things. Because he's not, if he's not the Master, he's not allowed to say that he wants an apprentice if he's an apprentice.
I mean, but again, it's like weird that he's like following the very specific semantic rules of the Sith. But like, I guess. That's still a possibility that there still could be like a Darth Plagueis reveal at the end.
Yeah,
it's like, oh shit,
like
Darth Plagueis was his master the whole time, and he wasn't able to overthrow him, and now he's going to have to go find another apprentice, and because Palpatine went through apprentices like he was going out of style.
Oh yeah, so many.
Episode 1. So I guess like there's just a lot to unpack here. That's one of them. And again, that's the other thing on this is that like maybe it wasn't really supposed to be that hidden anyway. And like we're supposed to try to enjoy it in the same way that we enjoy seeing Palpatine kind of manipulate the Jedi, and we get to enjoy Chimere doing the same thing.
Well, yeah, he even says to May, like, you really couldn't tell it was me,
right?
Like, and it's like almost like you're saying
not even deep down,
because like even the audience knows,
right?
Like they're not supposed to know, and they could figure it out. It's like you really didn't know.
Yeah,
it's like,
you big dummy.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I also mentioned the score here. I think the music is really, really, really good in this episode.
Yeah,
it's very I would say prequel coded. in my opinion. It really has in fact, to the point where there is musical cues that are directly pulled from the prequels and John Williams' work. There's also a musical cue to Kylo Ren, which is an interesting thing we'll talk about later on. But
I brought up the Knights of Ren before, and you told me no.
I didn't. Did I say no?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to bring this like snotty attitude.
I did though. I was like, remember? I said, oh, are you getting any like Knights of Ren vibe? And you said no. That would be stupid.
I don't think I said no. That would be stupid. I mean, it's possible I said that. There's a tape. Someone could go and play. Michael Abels, as we mentioned, this is a guy who's done a lot of work in the horror space.
Yeah.
It really works here. There's a lot of really bombastic music, especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
We get some darker themes early on, but then action themes later, and it works for me. So I think it's very good. And then, as you mentioned, we talked about how his helmet had I think this is when the conversation came from, but how his helmet kind of looked like Kylo Ren's helmet from Rise of Skywalker, kind of the Katsugi
stuff. Yeah, it's got
look. And I think, first of all, I said that I didn't like his helmet last week.
Yes,
it's grown on me. Getting to see it from more angles and getting to see it with color is helpful. They've also, Hasbro's revealed the helmet, like the Black Series full scale version of it that you can buy. Pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
So I think that's all really cool. And then we also get a deep lore cut here with the introduction of Cortosis.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah,
that seems to be the general sentiment around this.
Because that's what the null blade too. There, hey.
The what now?
It's called the null blade, and that's what it's made out of.
I don't know what the null blade is. Can you explain that?
It's in. So Adam, my fiance, brought this up to me because it's in the Dr. Aphra comics, and she's all possessed, but that's irrelevant. But she finds this null blade, and it's like this big, long, pointy, kind of cool looking sword.
But it's just made out of metal. And it's just to be clear.
Yeah, okay. Well, all swords are made out of metal.
Well, no, but the lightsabers aren't.
Yeah, but she uses it against Vader. And zaps his saber or whatever. So, and it's all about trying to kill. She's imbued by this spirit, and it's after killing Sith specifically, and they're using the null blade to try to kill Vader. Okay. But they need to zap out his lightsaber to do it, and
it's really cool.
But it is a very cool weapon. So obviously that's kind of could be what his
and it's something that comes from Legends but has been canonized. So. Yeah. Cortosis was a metal that had I'm reading from Wikipedia here, that had a very high energy absorption rate and transmission coefficients, which allowed even the energy of a blaster bolt to be dissipated upon contact. One of the strongest minerals in the galaxy, Cortosis could even withstand the blow of a lightsaber and briefly short out its blade. It could also redirect the heat of explosions, as discovered when General Anakin Skywalker attempted to collapse the entrance of a Cortosis mine, and then the resulting explosion breached through the I don't even know how to pronounce that. What do you say? Mockevi's crust. Despite these advantages, Cortosis was very fragile until refined, making it normally useless as armor, and had difficulties with prolonged energy attacks, such as those of lightning guns. I didn't know that lightning guns existed, but it's cool, which would overload the material. So,
there it is. The next thing.
This is the history of it. So during the era of the Sith, the Ascendant created the Null Blade with the Cortosis alloy as part of their battle with the Sith Order. The Null Blade could briefly short out lightsabers. However, the blade was not reinforced and thus could be cut by a lightsaber. The blade was never completed before the Ascendant were slaughtered by the Sith. During the High Republic era, the Sith, known as the Stranger, wore a gauntlet and a helmet forged of the Cortosis. And this is right from this episode.
Yes,
the Stranger's helmet also protected against telepathy, apparently. This is something that
that's
is implied.
Cool.
This, I think, is an implied answer. I don't know if we have direct confirmation for sure that that's the case, but it's an interesting concept. It's kind of like Magneto's helmet in that way.
Yeah. I was going to say like Magneto.
Yeah. It's been used in, as I said, it came from Legends. It's been canonized. It's been in Thrawn Alliances.
Yeah.
Dr. Aphra, Hidden Empire, A New Dawn, and the Acolyte, obviously, of course, as well. So
very cool.
Very cool concept. I think for me, what works for this is it adds a new, interesting layer to lightsaber combat.
Yeah, it's cool that it's not, like Beskar just blocks, right? So this is cool that it actually sorts it out for a minute. Like, that's a really neat,
because it's both defensive and offensive in that way.
Yeah.
And then it creates an environment where, okay, your lightsaber is temporarily disabled, so you have to do it forces you to be creative from a choreography and storytelling perspective. And then it's not a permanent disabling of it, so that lightsabers can come right back into the combat, and it creates this more dynamic action sequence. So I think it's really cool. Obviously, I didn't know about cortosis before this, so I'm doing my research after the fact, but it's a very cool concept. Travis, cortosis was trending search for a while on Google, which is funny. And it makes sense that it would be. Although, how would you know to search for that word, I guess, is the question, unless you'd heard it somewhere.
It comes from like people who have read the comics for sure.
Yeah.
Like that's like an Adam thing, because he had to look it up because he's like, oh, I remember that because I've seen it before, right? Because when you're reading those like whatever smaller issues and you see something like, oh, that's super cool, but you may not remember it. Day to day.
Yeah, you're not going to remember each individual detail.
It's all the nerds out there being like, I remember seeing that before. I'm going to Google it.
So that's really cool to me. I think it's a really cool addition. I'll just mention a couple things also from Travis here. Having thought the first 2 episodes were very average, I liked episodes 3, and then it picked up from there. The last 2 episodes were awesome. I totally agree. I think that's a very fair assessment. The first 2 episodes were very average. Episode 3 added a much more interesting layer and dynamic to, doing a full flashback episode is a bold decision. And then, obviously we talked about it last week being a really more interesting episode. We got a little more character work, right? And then this week, obviously being all action is awesome.
Yeah.
And then so someone was waiting to complain about it, then realized it existed in Legends,
and then shut up. And they're like, oh man, 100%. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. 100%, Travis. You can just listen. We don't have any way to confirm that for sure, but 100%.
Absolutely.
The sense is that when the types of criticisms we're getting out of the show are just seemingly the most nitpicky bullshit, that this would be another example that someone would love to jump on. Yeah,
like, you can't just make up stuff like that. Yeah. But it's like, actually,
you totally can.
You can.
Actually, you totally
and
can.
It's really cool. Yeah. So, yeah. No, when that first started happening, I was, it was such a wow factor to it. And
I wasn't sure what was even going on. I was like, what's happening?
I was like, was that from them hitting his helmet, or did he stop it? Like,
well, then rewatching it and then like pausing it at moments, like to him headbutting lightsabers is like, what a cool idea.
So cool. Yeah. Again, it adds such a cool dynamic to like a Sith fighting when he knows he has that advantage. It's like, I love it. It's so good.
Okay, so that was all the kind of the major things I wanted to hint at or touch on. Anything you wanted to mention before we got into the recap here?
No, I don't think so. I think we've
touched on.
I was like, we haven't even started the recap.
Yeah, no, we got to get into an hour in. We got to get moving here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to recap this scene by scene. So we pick up barely a moment after the end of the last episode, Day. Obviously, we transition into night, and that's where we are here. As we transition into this action sequence, we get this top-down view of Osha as she wakes up after being tossed away by the Master, right? So last week, we ended with her just being flung away with a flick of the wrist, right? She was knocked out. She's knocked out a lot, actually. I was thinking about this while watching this, which is in general, people in television in movies are so easily knocked out. It's really hard to knock somebody out. Yeah. And causes to not be knocked out means you've had a stage 3 concussion, which is like, you wake up from that, you are not just like
you're
up
not
and
okay.
about. Yeah,
no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like in movies and stuff, people just get knocked out and it's totally normal. You just like knock someone on the back of the head and it's like, oh, they're unconscious.
They're unconscious.
Now,
yeah.
Right. And listen, maybe like if you're a special operative, like soldier, Navy SEAL or something, you know the moves to knock people out or something. But I just don't think people get
people aren't knocked out as easily as they are.
I see people hit their head on the ice all the time and they're fine. They don't.
Or if they are knocked out, it's for like not as long as you always see. Right. It's always like 10 minutes. Exactly. Like that's bad. Like if you're knocked out for 10 minutes, like you should go to the hospital. You died.
Yeah,
like,
you need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You've probably lost all short-term memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this. There's a couple interesting overhead shots. This is one of them. So she's waking up. You got to appreciate that the first thing that she's worried about is Pip, right? Yeah. She's like, "Where's Pip?" Pip starts getting all like excited or anxious, and then she's like, "Shh, quiet."
Yeah,
which is funny to me. And then we hear lightsaber combat, like in the distance. She trips, falls, lands next to a Jedi already dead. So we've missed maybe a couple minutes here. It's hard to say how much time has passed.
Yeah.
And then we pull back to see the aftermath of what that massive force push. So we kind of see like the dirt having been pushed away. And it's a kind of interesting visual look. Osha spots the Jedi engaging the Master. Osha approaches slowly as we see more lightsaber combat kind of revealed to us. And then it really never stops from here. So the episode taking really no time to get into the action, which is very appreciated. The Master is toying a little bit with the Jedi, easily slaying the Keldor Jedi, who again we mistakenly called Plo Koon last week. Boy, would that been a shock? No, now that would have been a real lore change, right?
Yeah.
You know, like they're messing with the lore if they're just killing Plo Koon over here. So can't be Plo Koon. Stabbed right through the chest, right? And I'm like, right away, I'm like, okay, we're killing Jedi right now.
Yeah.
Great. This is exciting.
Yeah.
So we also see the Master use his helmet, headbutts a gauntlet to deflect lightsabers, temporarily shorting them out. And the Jedi don't really know what to do about that.
No.
They're very confused.
Yeah. Which fair.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. But that's so funny. I just felt like the two like human Jedi that are like killed early on, the shish kebabbed ones, look particularly ineffective and confused and like not prepared for this at all. But you know, that's what Jedi cannon fodder are for, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's tens of thousands of them at this point, so there's a dime a dozen.
Well, that's also like they're going to establish right away that he, like, what his fighting style is, that he doesn't have those boundaries. It's the Jedi are fighting against something that they've probably never fought against before because he's not following these rules and because he's not engaging in your typical, like, respectful combat, right? So stabbing one Jedi and then force pulling another one into the saber is like a wild thing to do. And then he definitely decapitates at least one of them after that.
As I said, I've nicknamed that the
shish kebab.
The Jedi shish kebab.
Yeah, it's just like, it's dirty fighting, as you would call it.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it though? I mean, like, you know what they say, all's fair in love and war, right?
Yeah, it's just something that like a Jedi would never do that, right? So there's like those codes and like honor to fighting, and that's like a dishonorable way, I suppose, to fight.
But I guess if you are fighting the Jedi and you're someone who hates the Jedi and everything they stand for, I don't think you would have any qualms with
of course not.
Using any advantage you have, including using their own rules against them.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, absolutely.
And he's like, not, he
to
doesn't
him,
have
it's
to
not
take the high road.
Dirty. No,
right.
He's not fighting dirty. He's fighting
just
like
fighting.
Sith. He's a bad guy. Right.
Well, so. I mean, when, I think of Justified a lot now. It's just watching it kind of as like this background show. And, one of the things they say in that show all the time is that, like, if I draw my weapon, I'm going to put you down.
Right.
Right. And it's like, these aren't toys, right? I think we get used to thinking of lightsabers as toys or as glow sticks or these kind of things. And they're sometimes used as that, but they're not, that's not what they are. They're weapons. And so when you spark up your lightsaber and you're engaged in combat with an enemy, you got to be prepared. Like, it's fight to the death. Be prepared to kill or be killed. And I just think the Jedi are not prepared for that.
No, and I think the Jedi's, their whole thing is a lot more. It's not necessarily fight to the death. It's fight to the capture. It's fight to the arrest.
Right, but you have to understand that they don't feel that way, and if they're trying to kill you, you need to be prepared to do whatever it takes to defend yourself and your friends. Right,
and that's
including not necessarily murder, because defending yourself, but including killing somebody. Yeah, which. To be fair, Saul was prepared to do.
Yeah, he was.
Right. To be fair, I mean, there's some. We'll get to that, but okay. So, we also see blah 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 blah. Okay, so we get a brief one-on-one with Yord, who steps in to like assist these two kind of ineffectual Jedi before they get killed. He gets a slash to the leg, falls. This buys time for the two Jedi with the disabled lightsabers to get their blades working again, only for them to be quickly killed. And that's when the Jedi shish kebab happens.
Yes.
Osha raises her stun blaster at the mat. This felt so funny to me.
It did.
And like, it kind of like, it feels like something that she would do, but in a sense, like, you got to be smarter than that, right? As the Master approaches the downed Yord, shooting him, but it has no effect, as the cortosis obviously absorbs that, right? But though it does buy time for Yord. So if you look at it from the perspective of, well, she wants to prevent Yord from being murdered, then this is, maybe it's worth a shot, right? But here's the thing. the next immediate line, like first line of, well, that's not the first line of dialogue because he does tell Pip to be quiet.
Yeah,
but
pretty much.
The first like real one here is he looks at Osha.
Yeah.
I felt like they've got a good coach for terror face on the show because every time someone is in feels true terror, you can see it on their face in the show.
Yeah.
And
I like that he's beat up too. Like his face is beat up too.
So he's like, he looks straight at Osha and he just tells her to run.
Yeah.
Right? Again, true horror movie stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
There's another horror movie thing in this that I really like too, but we'll get to it.
And like, I love how she's just like thinks about it and just turns and sprints. And it's very much the classic horror movie style run. The only thing she doesn't do is trip over
and fall.
Yeah.
But did you notice, I'll just bring it up here, that he doesn't run?
Oh,
he
yeah.
just walks.
It's Mike Myers.
It's Mike Myers shit, right? Where you're just like, oh, where the bad guy like knows he doesn't have to chase you.
He does like, run later though, and it's when he does, it's scary also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I also will say I really liked it. This sounds so stupid. I like that he's sleeveless. It added.
I think it's cool.
It's cool. I feel like it added just like a little bit of like an extra.
Is it because he's jacked as hell?
Well, yeah, he's jacked as hell. But it just looked cool. I feel like we don't often see like Sith. Like he's
cool
ripped to shit, and like you're seeing bare arms, and you're like, whoa, like that. Like it just looks cool.
I feel like you don't see a lot of bare arms in Star Wars in general, and I think what's cool is that he's got like almost like a Jedi-like outfit on underneath his robe.
Yeah.
Right. The kind of like I don't know how to describe it. They're kind of
like a gi.
Yeah, something like that. It's got the big like waist belt, right?
And like
but it's all black. But then he's got the sleeves. It creates this very sleek look.
Yeah,
it's very aggressive.
It is. And it's very like dominating and like
it's cool.
It's very cool, and it's cool to see.
Well, he fights with his cloak for the first half of the episode, and I feel like even that works. Because
I like his like backwards handhold too on his saber a lot of the times, and it's like very heavy.
Yeah.
Like swinging and low swinging, and it's like it's very
it's Kylo Ren-esque in the like heaviness of the swings.
It's like a very aggressive. Like Baylan Skull does that too. I remember thinking like he looks like he fights with like a broadsword, right? Like it's got that weight to it, which is like neat when you see a lot of Jedi are a lot lighter fighters, right?
Yeah, well, it's more defense first, right? So you need to be more nimble. So Osha takes off running, and we get a very brief scene of May, and this is another example of like. Do we need to cut away to May in this for this half a second for her to pick up Kalnaka's lightsaber before we cut back to Osha?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just stick with Osha here, and then we'll do the May stuff all together.
Yeah.
This seems like it just seems maybe they wanted to like maintain a certain pace to the episode, and so if you're cutting from high energy thing to brief low energy thing, which is just May looking for a lightsaber for 10 seconds, it just gets absorbed into that everything else. But I just feel like, again, it just feels unnecessary.
It's probably
to me.
just about like where to put it, because they kind of, I think with a lot of her, like Osha and May's stuff, they want it to kind of be together.
Right. So you can see them as a mirror of each other.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. It is an odd.
I don't know. It just feels like it undercuts the momentum for me. Yeah. So Osha is sprinting through the forest and abruptly stops when she hears something. She pulls out her flashlight, which I think is Pip's head.
I think so, yeah.
She doesn't see anything, but the Master emerges from the darkness as she starts to run again. He throws his ignited red lightsaber across a clearing, slicing through trees. It looks like, it's so cool. So like this is like every action sequence has a unique thing, and they're not all like completely new. We've seen lightsabers thrown
Vader
before.
Does this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen decapitations before. Yeah. I've never seen a Jedi shish kebab before. No. That's new.
Yeah.
But
oh no, I was like,
not in that way.
I was like,
I'm
doesn't Ventress do it to clones, but she does it to one clone and then kisses him.
Yeah, and I think they've removed that.
No, it's still there. I saw it the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so weird.
Yeah.
They immediately abandoned that concept for her. Anyway, it's just fun to see them kind of like, we've got this tool chest of all these different things that we can do with lightsabers. Things we've seen before, things we haven't, and just being able to mix them in. It's like playing with your action figures.
Yeah.
And I think that works for me here. So anyway, slices through the trees. It looks like it's about to take her down. When Sol kind of arrives, last second, deflects the saber away, saving Osha. The hilt returns to the Master's hand, and the trees collapse.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool.
It does. It looks so good.
Yeah.
I found that like the CGI, everything was very good. There's only like one moment of it that I thought looked stupid. are bad, but like, yeah.
What was it?
It's when the moths take him.
Oh,
He's,
yeah,
like,
maybe
up in there. I
that's
was
not
like,
great.
I didn't love
that
it.
is hard to achieve, though. I'll give
Yeah.
them that.
Yeah.
I'll just pause here and make this comment, which I've been making for a while, but I think it's important. After this scene where Osha's running away from a spinning lightsaber that's being thrown, people talk about throwing lightsabers all the time.
Yep.
Casuals will always say like, "How does it work?
Throw it? Yeah.
Do you like? Did he hold the button down with the Force, or like, how does that work?" And like,
I don't think they have to hold the button the entire time they're holding their lightsaber. That's
I think
stupid.
they do. I think
no,
they do.
That's so
You think
dumb.
it's on off?
Yeah, it's on off.
Okay, maybe
Like a flashlight.
Yeah, and like for sure, Rey's lightsaber is that way. She flicks it on. It's got that like side flip
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Her yellow lightsaber. But anyway, others, it's intentionally unclear. We don't need to know this information. But all I'm saying is, regular fans of Star Wars think about this stuff. Seeing it used here is fun and interesting.
Yeah.
So when people are hating on the show, I just got to ask, what do you want? What is it do you want? Like,
I know.
Is it, if not this, what? It's like, is this action is not good enough for you? Like the Force intrigue is not good enough for you? Like, I just don't get it.
You know what they want.
What? No, what do they want?
They the people that are that mad about it, they want I don't even want to say
the dudes being bros.
They want dudes, they want straight white men doing the cool shit
and like saying cool stuff to each other before they kill each other.
They don't, and whatever, not even necessarily white, but they want men. They want straight
dudes
men fighting.
Star Wars is for dudes. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, they want girls to be there to look pretty, and that's about it, and be saved.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you?
And
they like
to fall in love with the characters. Like they want those old school tropes. It's not like it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't think anybody's mad about like the Sith character, right? Like it's you're not
Asian.
hearing like, oh, how dare he? They don't care about that, right? So it's because he's a dude and he's cool because he's a dude and he's fighting.
Well,
hard.
they also do care about seemingly about too much representation.
That's
right?
what I mean. Like they don't.
So
like,
an Asian bad guy might be bad for them too. I don't know how this works for them. I don't understand it. All I'm saying
it's hard to know with those
listen,
types.
There's a lot of stuff that people don't like about Star Wars these days, and we've talked about. God knows we've talked about it on the show. Not everything works. Ahsoka, especially as we said, has aged poorly, even over the last 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
That being said, there's good shit. This is some of it. This is maybe some of the best. I think there's people talking about how they wanted to, or Leslie Headland set out to try to, for this episode specifically, which she said was her favorite of the season.
Yeah. It's
and I think rightly
guaranteed. Yeah. It's granted. Like it's amazing.
She said she wanted to try to achieve something that was at least in the same league as Duel of the Fates. Now, as we all know, the music in that scene does a lot of heavy lifting. You're never going to
beat it, but it's not meant to be beat.
I think it's up there with some of the best lightsaber choreography we've had in probably the last 10 years. This
absolutely is. A lot of like our lightsaber choreography is like kind of boring, kind of stiff. And it depends on the characters. Like Vader's fighting style is very stiff. It's hard to do anything really like acrobatic or really like with lots of movement with him. So with certain characters, like these are all new characters. We can have a full new.
Well, and we're back in the prequel era, so we know that the shit goes off.
Yeah.
When lightsabers actually, like the only thing we're not having here is flipping over people.
Yeah.
Right. And like that's really the only thing that we're not getting, which is like the extra acrobatic stuff.
Yeah.
Which always felt a little silly anyway. And then you could argue that we've got a lot of lightsaber combat in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Most of that stuff feels too lightweight and almost too much, a little overwrought, and then this stuff
that's the thing
is a good strikes a good balance between speed, agility, choreography, and weight.
The choreography is fantastic. Yeah. It's so good, and like that's a one defense I'll give like Ahsoka a little bit is it's got to be so hard to like choreograph battles for a character in live action that we've only ever seen in animation before, and she's like so acrobatic.
Yeah, but we could try a little harder.
Yeah, I know. You're right. But it's like that's my only defense of like why those battles aren't as good, because it's like, like Rosario Dawson isn't gonna be able to do that same kind of shit.
Well, but
the stunt coordinators.
In this case, what they introduced with the Force Fu stuff is more wire work.
Yeah,
and the wire work stuff works for Star Wars. So
it's so good.
I think if there's any lesson that can be taken away from this is that there's a template here for live action lightsaber combat for Star Wars on television specifically.
Yes.
And I would argue even for the movies, because the sequel trilogy had pretty poor lightsaber combat also.
But exactly. And it's just, I love seeing that effort being put in. It's so good. It's like that she wanted to put that effort in to make something as good as Duel of the Fates or up there, right? So it's like you're putting that effort in your characters, in your casting, in your choreography. That's like,
and you gotta get, it's like she understands like where the bar is set.
Yeah.
And it's like, is not content with just, well, we'll just do whatever and it's like, there's no way we can ever be that good. It's like, if you, shoot for the stars, land in a cloud or whatever. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is, it's like, when I'm saying, what is it that you want? It's like, give the show credit for achieving stuff that's good. And it's like, okay, not everything's perfect, but if you're going to get good stuff, you got to give it credit where it's due.
Yeah. I feel like you can't be in an unbiased way watch this and be like, oh, that action was shit.
I think if you come out of this episode and think it sucked, I think you went in knowing you were going to think it sucked.
You're going to say, you're just not giving it a chance at all, and then your opinion doesn't matter.
Everyone's opinion matters. Just they're like everyone's opinion's like a butthole. We all have one, but we all don't want to hear it. Which is something that I'm sure I butchered that, but it's one of my favorite. Okay. So, where were we? Saul and the Master have a standoff here as we see the trees collapse after being cut down by the thrown saber. Osha tries to stand with Saul. This is cute. It's like her back with her old master, right?
Yeah.
Tries to stand with him, but he sends her away, force throwing her into the arms of Yord, saying, "Civilian to the ship."
Yeah.
Which feels like awfully reductive, but I think he's just more concerned about her safety at this point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you gotta love how Yord just repeats he says.
It. Yeah, it's like like an order, or like a police command. Yeah.
Typically, I'm a big fan of someone yells something and someone yells the same thing. Like raise the mizzen mast, raise the mizzen mast. Like that's my like I live for that. But in this case, it doesn't really work in the same way.
No.
So the master looks on, curious, and we know he's curious because he tilts his head to the side like a dog. You're asking about if they want to go outside.
When a bad guy does that, though, it's just that like bad guy, like
what's coming next?
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah,
it's the bad guy head tilt.
Yeah, it's kind of like it feels like a challenge, So this is when we cut to the title card. We get big orchestral music playing here. This is, I assume, where they're trying to, from a score standpoint, trying to make it in line, or I guess, or not in line, nod to the Duel of the Fates stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, hugely orchestral song. So we come back and we catch up with Yord and Osha as they spot Basil. Osha wants to go back to help, but Yord, ever the stickler, insists on following Saul's orders. "I don't want to subdue you, but I will," he says to her. And this is enough to convince Osha, okay, we'll go. I love this like small detail, which is that once, because he's been quick to draw his saber all season.
Yeah.
And so once he was in a real scenario where it's like, man, this shit's popping off, this is crazy, right? He draws his saber, lights it up, and never turns it off.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't want to have to wait that half a second to ignite it, if in case he's ambushed.
Right.
Because I think ultimately he's scared.
I think he's terrified. Yeah.
So back with Saul and the Master. The Master knows Saul's name, of course, because he was, chatted with him when he told him not to erase his mind back in that apothecary.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely think that he was actually a little bit worried that would happen to him at that time, right? He's I'm not prepared for this. I don't have my helmet, and if they read my mind, then they'll know, right? So fun to look back at that scene with a kind of different perspective. I mean, again, we kind of had a sense of it already at that time, but this gives us so much more kind of things to chew on, like how the fact that his helmet is like a Magneto helmet, right? So, so here's the question here. She says, you don't remember me, right? He says, "I sense something familiar." Do you think he's literally just talking about, I met you like a week ago or a couple days ago at the apothecary? Or does it go back further than that? Because he doesn't recognize Chimere once the mask comes off, other than as the guy he saw at the apothecary. So I guess that has to be what it is, but
I'm assuming, because they had such a close encounter before, but I mean, it does seem like he knows some other details about Saul, but I think that's coming from May. Like,
is it possible that he was younger at some point and like had an encounter with Saul
Could be.
that he was supposed to remember.
Could be, but I just feel like he has a lot of information from May from like what happened with the Jedi and like Saul specifically.
But what if he was there?
But he could be. He could have been there.
I mean,
but there are no other kids there. I thought they said.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So probably not. That's a dumb theory.
Yeah.
I guess so. This seems more like a test from him, basically saying, "Are you not able to sense me? Like, do you not feel the familiarity that?" And he does say he senses something familiar, but that's not like That's like, I've smelt that smell before.
Yeah.
Where have I smelt that smell?
It's definitely just like a taunt, too, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just like, you should be better than this.
Right.
Right.
Or she's the all-knowing Jedi, right? You know, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, they circle each other slowly, looking for an opening. And then we get this really great line from Saul, which is, I think, an all-time great line. You carry a Jedi weapon, but you are no Jedi.
Yeah.
And then we cut away, because who wants to follow up on that?
Yeah.
We cut away, another odd cut, in my opinion. Back with May, she's making a break for it, leaving Kalnaka's ship, but she's intercepted by Jecki, who knocks her down with a flying double kick, which is so sick, and like a big scream too.
Yeah,
and it's like
just like full on drop kicks her.
Yeah, she just like comes in like this, flying at her, and it's great. And so this like sets the stage for what will be a pretty fun Jecki and May sequence. Yeah. So they start with some hand-to-hand combat, some like wrestling, judo moves, force fu stuff. Jecki gets the upper hand first, force pushing her in back into the ship, and then force pulling her. I thought the push and then the pull was a cool idea.
Yeah.
This gives her the upper hand enough to get a pair of binders, at least half of them onto her. And binders are just what the Star Wars people call
space handcuffs.
Space handcuffs, yeah. Binders. So remember the tiny little baby binders that Baby Yoda had?
They put on Grogu. They're so small.
Hilarious.
They're so teeny.
They had to make those special order.
Yeah.
Anyway, May, she's arresting her, basically. She's doing the whole cop thing. You're under the arrest for the murder of Master Indira. She lists them all. She says Master Indara, Master Torben, Master Kalnaka. Important to note, she assumes that she was the murderer. She murdered Master Kalnaka.
Yeah.
I kind of was worried that this would be like an overwrought plot point where it's like, oh, they're going to assume May did it, even though she did kill two others. Well, actually, she technically only killed one other because Torben killed himself.
True.
She did hand him the poison,
she did give
but
it
he
to him,
knew it was poison and he drank it. So
that's true.
I don't think you can call that murder.
It's assisted suicide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Assisted in only the sense that I brought you the poison.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then she doesn't kill Kalnaka. So she's really, really only killed one Jedi.
Okay.
Which is still a lot, I guess. You know, any more than 0 murders is a lot of murders.
Yeah.
I guess not really in a TV show, but in real world that would be the case.
Yeah.
And then she says this line, which is so brutal, and the fire that killed your family.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you didn't
throw that in there.
Oh, yeah. It's good she got that good line in because she doesn't last much longer. This last phrase, though, pisses her off. This gives May the strength to break free, using her throwing knives, and then continues to attack as she pursues Jecki back into the forest outside. And then we get another cool overhead shot of that happening there. So back with Saul and the Master, they're engaged in a duel, 1v1. An interesting shot of their feet here. I actually really like this. So Saul drives the Master backwards, and it reminds me of like a something you'd see from like a samurai film.
Yeah.
Right? Where you kind of you see the action in these close-ups, but not just of their faces, but of, you know, motions of their legs and their arms and their feet.
Right.
And it kind of gives you a better understanding of how they move and how they're engaged with each other. I think it's a kind of a nice subtle choice there. Anyway, they disengage. The Master turns off his saber, and then they have a little chat. You trained May, show your face, Saul says. And this is where we get this kind of hint at his Magneto helmet. And let you read my thoughts? No.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the way he said no.
Me too. And I like, by the way, the voice changer he's got in that helmet, pretty cool. I gotta admit. It gives him a very menacing sound.
It does, yeah. But he still has the same, like, because even in before he takes off his helmet, like we already kind of knew, but I was like, he has the same cadence.
Yes.
Like when he speaks, and he obviously would because he's the same guy, but you
Mhm.
can just tell like he speaks the same way. It's not like he's trying to like
he does
super
change
hide.
his cadence a little bit when he's Chimere, but there's certain things that you just can't change about your voice, I think.
Yeah, it's just like the way he speaks. It's like when he's using those kind of like menacing tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of master conceals his face from his pupil?
Mhm.
You tell me.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of like leading the witness here by Chimere / the master with Saul. Kind of like, I'm giving you all this information. Put the pieces together yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh yeah, I'm training somebody, but I'm not telling them who I am. Why would I do that? Right?
Yeah.
Interesting thing to think about. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to just give you all the answers.
Right.
Piece it together yourself, you all-knowing Jedi. Right? And I just think that's an interesting way of going about it, right? But again, we cut away here, which I just don't love. Meanwhile, May gets a slash with her knife on Jecki's leg, causing her to scream out in pain. This alerts Osha, who still wants to go back to help, but again, Yord insists that they continue back to the ship.
Yeah.
Jecki is a Jedi; she can take care of herself. Yord says,
which is like wild to say because it's like so many of them are dead already.
Oh yeah, no.
It's like so were the other two that just got shish kebabbed right in front of you.
Right.
So
they couldn't take care of themselves, and she's still a Padawan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like, she's a kid.
People were, by the way, this is another nitpicky thing that people were upset about. I shouldn't even mention it, but I will. People were saying it's crazy that Jecki went from training with like a stick in episode 2 to taking on dual wielding and taking on a Sith Lord in episode 5.
That's not.
It does make sense. Rightly, everyone pointed out, it's like everyone was complaining that there wasn't enough training for Rey and all these other people, that was a problem. But also, it wasn't her first day on the job.
No, that wasn't her first day of training. That's just like how they do that particular type of training.
That particular type of training was happening that day. It just, again, bad faith criticism.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like she was fighting with sticks until today. Yeah.
And I think we should just, we'll talk about it when we get there, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay. I need to get you to safety. That thing is too dangerous. I like that they call it a thing.
Yeah.
Right? The duel back with the duel with Saul, and that's continuing. The Master goes in and gets a kick in Saul's chest, knocking him back. We get a very cool shot of Saul on one knee, reigniting his saber and like slashing it out forward. It's a very cool, like you could put that on a poster type of look. Anyway, I made a comment in my notes later, but I'll say it here.
Okay.
The Chimere pulling Batman left and right in this. Like every time someone looks down, he just disappears.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
I like
really.
that. I like it a lot.
Anyway, Master's gone, dipped out. We cut back to, and I guess what's interesting here is like Chimere, and I'm just going to call him Chimere because that's the only real name we have for him, is really busy in this early part of the episode, going back and forth to all these different, like engaged in all these different fights.
Yeah.
Because ultimately what he's really only cares about right now is killing May for betraying him. And in fact, we see it later where he's like basically just deflecting lightsabers away so he can try to get another kill shot in on May. That being said, it is odd that he chooses not to kill her when she's unconscious at the end of the episide. Unless he knows she's Osha.
He knows. Okay. Yeah, he definitely knows.
You think?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I think the tattoo gives it away.
Yes.
On her upper arm.
Yeah.
So I think he's clocked that. And B, I think he knows his own like apprentice or Padawan or whatever. I guess apprentice. He knows that that's Osha. For sure he does.
Okay. I like that idea. I actually like it better if he didn't know personally, because I think it creates an interesting, fun twin dynamic that we talk about.
I think he knows and he's like, oh, I'll just take this
play along with it.
It's like, maybe I'll train this one instead.
Right. Oh, there's a sister.
Yeah.
Right? I guess, we'll get to that part too when we get to it.
Yeah.
This really cool shot with Saul. We cut back to Osha asking Yord, and this is where it's like we went from having a conversation with Osha and Yord to cutting back to one half beat of an action sequence where we get very cool visuals, but then right back to Osha and Yord talking. Why couldn't we just finish that thought then go back to this. It just seems odd to me. So anyway, back with Yord. What is he? She asks him. He doesn't know. He says he doesn't follow the rules of combat, and there's no method to his movements. It doesn't make sense. He gets into your head and he stays there. That comment though felt a little out of left field to me. There's nothing in the show in this episode except for one moment with May that would give you the impression that was happening.
Right? Yeah.
You could argue it's really wild how quickly and easily these Jedi were dispatched. Maybe he was getting into their head and that kind of thing. And it does seem a little the thing with Magneto's helmet is that it's a tool that blocks both ways. You can't.
Right. Yeah.
You can't use telepathy outwards or inwards if you're wearing it, or on someone who's wearing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas it seems a little unfair that if you're wearing this helmet, no one can read your mind, but you can read theirs.
Yeah,
it seems a little one-sided. And fair enough, you can do whatever you want, but when you're making this stuff up. But again, there's no real way we don't know, I guess, the facts around that. So I don't want to make that assumption that's what's happening here. And that's why it's so weird that he says that.
I feel like it also could be though, he gets in your head as in
he's so odd. The way he behaves,
the way
is so
he
odd
fights, and you're just like, whoa, right. It's like the way he's killing your friends in front of you. Not that other people wouldn't, but it's just it sticks to you the way he fights, the dirty moves. It's kind of
I feel like we're doing some heavy lifting there because the very next line from Osha is, "My mother could do that." Get inside a Jedi's head.
Yeah, you're right.
I saw it once.
You're right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when we saw Mother Anastasia do it, it was on Torben, and his eyes go all black.
His eyes go all black
and stuff. So we didn't see it happen.
Right.
Certainly didn't see it happen to Yord. Maybe it was something that was cut from the episode or something like that. But
I don't know. You're right.
It's just odd to include that. It's an example of telling and not showing.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen, but you can't just say it happened to him without showing us that it happened.
That's true.
And I would like more insight. We won't know because he's dead. But what is that? How much did that mess up Torben and why? And all this stuff we just don't know. And maybe we'll get answers to it still. But maybe they'll come back to this concept as we go into the final 3 episodes. But for me, including it here feels like either they're putting it there to remind you that it's still a thing for later, or because they wanted to add some menace to what was happening in this episode. But I don't think it's needed because he's already murdered a bunch of people already. So
yeah, fair.
All right. So anyway, they in this little conversation, they lost track of Basil, so now they're on their own. May, back with May, has a knife to Jecki's neck. But I love Jecki's sweet headbutt move she pulls here, knocking May down and getting the second binders onto her. So she's now kind of actually arrested.
Yeah.
And she has them behind her back. And then she does the classic
the under the butt thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
which
I don't think pretty hard to do.
I think most people can't do that.
Most people cannot.
But she's a trained Sith or whatever.
You have to be very flexible and
and you have to dislocate your shoulders practically to do it.
No,
or small enough. You need to have
it's about being small. It's about your hips needing to be in your butt, needing to be small enough that your arms, you have enough space, but also flexibility. But I feel like women have an easier time doing that than men.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could do that, but
you think you could? Yeah, behind your back and then.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, listen, that's impressive. I know for a fact that I couldn't do it. Anyway. So Jecki finds Kalnaka's saber here, latching it to her belt, but she hears some eerie sounds. And I love this shot because we stay on her belt. Mm-hmm. We see her transition her hand off of Kalnaka's saber back onto hers.
Yeah.
And getting it ready. I think it's a cool little moment that kind of adds to the tension here. And this is what I was talking about before when Chimera charges out of the forest. He's been very slow and patient, but he sprints out of the forest here, right? That puts Jecki on her back foot right away. She's able to deflect that saber attack, and then we get a brief one-on-one duel between Jecki and Chimera, who, again, on her back foot, gets kicked in the abdomen, knocking her down. And then we get this line from Chimera: "May, you can learn from this Padawan.
Yeah,
she's a loyal pupil."
Yeah,
which I kind of love this kind of rubbing in her face moment here. And I really like this idea of May understanding the danger she's in and taking every opportunity to try to run away.
Yeah.
She's you're engaged with her, Jecki, right now. I'm out of here.
I'm leaving.
And she tries it like 3 times or 4 times in this episode.
Yeah,
it doesn't ultimately work for her.
I do like seeing that fear. It's cool to see like these characters being so scared.
It adds to the stakes, and like, you know, I think there was some rightful criticism about May's kind of like unexpected turn here about last week when she was like, "Oh well, I'll just turn myself in and everything will be fine." And it seems weird that it just kind of flipped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like it was story driven. Like we understood the connection to her sister was what motivated her to make this decision. And ultimately, now that we understand how afraid she is of her master, that being able to try to extricate herself from his influence would be something she'd try to do.
Yeah.
And so, and she thought she was in like free and clear. She's like, well, he had to find me first. Yeah. Right. It might be not something you'd do if you knew, but like, so to me, I feel like it works on it. But again, I can understand why people would have criticisms there.
Yeah.
So as the master speaks, Jecki is able to get up. She is the first to attack. What I like about Jecki here is that she is not on the defensive.
No,
she is very aggressive with her. And as a Padawan, she's got strong Ahsoka vibes, I feel like, of being highly capable with her lightsaber. She also has 2 green lightsabers in this episode, which is obviously very reminiscent of early Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then just this kind of like more impetuousness that allows you to kind of maybe abandon some of your more kind of like centering that you're supposed to do as a Jedi and kind of like lean into the aggression a little bit that you can kind of get from a younger Force wielder here, which I think is appreciated. All right, so she attacks, but after the Master deflects her saber with his gauntlet, she's left defenseless. The Master goes for a kill shot, but Jecki pulls Kelnaka's saber just in time to stop the attack. Very cool. You know, I was kind of like, oh, no, but she's got the saber, and here it comes, and it's sick.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, like, it's predictable, but still cool to see.
Oh,
like,
it's
how
still
it's
good,
done.
yeah.
We get a brief prequel-esque sound cue here, and I wrote it down, and I don't remember how to say it now. Do 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 do. It's like that. Anyway, it's trumpet essentially, fast trumpet, and it's really it works for me.
Yeah.
And again, a direct sound cue from the prequels, I think, in that example. Jecki's saber starts working again, so she's holding that one backhand now. She's kind of has, again, very similar to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So she. I love how it works, and she turns it back on, and then both her and Chimera give it like a little look, like, interesting.
And then she gives him like a smirk.
Right? A little side eye.
Yeah.
Anyway, they both realize what's going on. Now she's now dual wielding. Jecki goes on the attack, and now seems to have the Master on his back foot. May uses the opportunity to make a break for it. Chimera gives her a look as she dashes away through the forest. Chimera puts the pressure back on Jecki as she does some very cool spinning blocks. I thought this was one of the cooler things where she's like pirouetting basically and then like using both sabers to deflect things.
So cool.
Very cool. Something I feel like you'd see in animation, but we get to see in live action here.
Right?
And done well. Ultimately, the Master is able to cut through the hilt of Kelnaka's saber, leaving her with just her own again. As Jecki looks down at the now destroyed saber in awe, this seems odd to me. It seems like you don't have time to be looking at broken sabers.
No, I know. I thought that too.
The Master uses that moment to disappear again. And this is where I wrote the Batman thing.
Yeah.
Which Jecki realizes as she looks up, finding herself alone, dropping the broken saber into the dirt. So back with Osha and Yord, they're making their way through the scary part of the forest again, where the moths are.
Yeah.
And Osha urges Yord to turn off his saber. It's like, man, we get it. You're under attack, but you don't have to have it on all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's like, this doesn't make any sense to me because was he not with them earlier when the previous moth attacked them?
I think he was.
He was. So he's like, it attracts them, and she's like, attracts what? It's like, what do you mean attracts what?
Yeah.
You just saw this.
There. Yeah. I feel like
this is odd. That's an odd dialogue choice. Anyway, he eventually agrees, and they're like, we'll go slow. Right, okay, cool, fair enough. I actually like his kind of like take charge attitude here.
Yeah,
works. Kind of helps calm things down. As May in binders sprints through the forest, we get a very cool quick cuts of the Master seemingly injecting his thoughts into her mind. And this is where, I mean, like, this is the first time where it's like we feel like we get a visualization of that in this episode, but it's different, I feel like, from what we saw from Mother Anastasia and what it feels like they're talking about with Yord.
Yeah.
but it is cool. Like she's sprinting and you get to these like first person perspective, like, or right, I guess it's third person, but like right up in his face, of like him following her, but it's like shot right into her face, basically. Yeah. So, I think it's a cool way to visualize this idea of like telepathy.
Yeah, definitely.
And like in a very Sithy way where it's like, it's less communal and more like forcing your thoughts onto that person.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll pause here. Do you have any thoughts on anything that I've said over the last 10 minutes?
No, no, it's good. Like I feel the same as you do with like the Jecki fight there is just great. Like her choreography is awesome. Like it definitely gave you Ahsoka vibes too. And then, yeah, like, I mean, you know, looking back on it now, you're just you feel bad because with Osha, like pulling Yord back, it's like, you guys are safe. Like at least for the most part, it's like you just let him basically to his demise.
I think that's why she gives that look later to his dead his dead soulless eyes. She's like, that's my bad.
Yeah,
right?
It's my fault.
But also like,
but like,
I guess the question is like, where does he get the message? She hears that voice in her head,
Osha, yeah.
Who's saying that to her?
May.
You think?
Yeah.
It's possible that it's the master that's saying it.
Oh, you think?
The chimera, like, manipulating
I thought
her?
It was like May, like, May reaching out, like, I'm in trouble, help me.
Right,
yeah.
and like I do like when she says, like, like, he's gonna kill them all.
He's gonna kill them all. Yeah,
right.
And it's just like
great.
Ooh.
By the way, call back to the prequels there in that line when he says I killed them. I killed them all.
Yeah,
the women and the children too.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay, Annie. Everyone gets upset sometimes.
Yeah, 100% would not stay.
Yeah, that's the solid red flag there.
Yeah. Ladies, take notes.
Yeah, when they murder the women and the children too.
Yeah, time to leave.
Yeah, and I murder them like animals. Okay. She spins through the forest. We get these quick cuts with him saying "coward," which I loved. The use of fear and using it as both a cudgel and as a tool is really cool here. So, as the Sith in general do, you were going to betray me. I think of the Sith a little bit. This is a deep cut, maybe for those who don't know DC lore very well. But in Green Lantern, they have a spectrum of emotional power. So green is willpower, which is not technically an emotion, but stick with me. Yellow is fear.
Oh.
So
fear, cowardice.
Avarice is one. Love, hope, a few others. Anyway.
Okay.
But the yellow power of fear is one of the stronger ones. Rage is another one, the red.
Yeah.
But the yellow power of fear can be defeated by willpower because willpower can defeat fear,
right.
whatever. But Batman eventually, at one point, ended up with a power ring, and his power ring was fear. He got the fear because he uses fear as a tool, right?
Yeah. You know, he's scared of bats.
Well, he's scared of bats, and he uses it to make criminals afraid of him.
Yes.
So he, in the same way, the Sith use fear as a tool to both control their Padawans and to empower themselves.
Yep.
They empowered off of the fear of their enemies.
Fear leads to the dark side.
Right. So exactly. Yeah. So to call someone a coward is to imply that they're afraid, which is, a big no-no amongst the Sith. So I think that's just a cool, the use of that term, I think could be used more often, to be honest, in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to betray me. I also think it's funny with Sith in general because
they all betray
each other all the time.
But how dare someone
betray
them? Like that's that whole ego to them, right? Like
all hypocrites.
It's like you should follow me. Like you should be lucky.
Yeah.
To be like my Padawan or whatever. Not
how
Padawan,
dare you betray me as I'm planning to betray my own master?
Yeah. Right. But,
right.
Well, it's all ego and selfishness and power, and it's like, you think you're better? You're gonna betray me?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah, and you can't suffer betrayal.
Yeah.
Right. So, forgive me, Master. I was weak. May says, and his response is, you've always been weak. Which again, pretty harsh, but probably accurate.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes to slash her. She falls backwards, and in the process, her binders are cut in half. Very convenient.
Yeah.
The Master goes to stab her as she lies on the ground, but is saved by Soul, who force pulls him backwards, which I think is a cool move.
Yeah, love a force pull.
Force pull.
Yeah.
Into a slashing Jecki. So they were trying to shish kebab him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. Thus, starting a 2v1 duel, and this is where the Duel of Fate's biggest comparison comes in, right? You've got Master Apprentice.
Yeah,
This isn't technically his apprentice,
no,
but a apprentice fighting a Sith Lord.
I thought
2v1.
Jecki is his apprentice.
No, I thought it was Yord's apprentice. Oh no, you're right.
No.
I'm thinking Yord has a different apprentice. That we met in episode 1.
Yeah,
no, and Jecki is his apprentice.
Jecki
You're right. My
is,
bad. That's my bad. Yeah, I've got it's to be fair. That one other apprentice, that other Padawan from episode 1, throws just enough a wrench into the works to confuse me.
Yeah, fair enough.
The Jedi again seem to have the upper hand, giving May another chance to try to run. And this is again the score here, very prequel inspired with bright staccato trumpets, which is also classic John Wars style, high intensity moments. He uses that stuff. It's great. Chimere doesn't want to let May escape, force jumping to a nearby rock and then force pulling May backwards, slamming her into said rock. He tries to stab her again and is again stopped by Soul and Jecki, right? So Osha hears her name whispered in her head. We can debate on who's saying that to her, telling Yord that they need to go back, right? He's going to kill them. He's going to kill them all. Yord sees how serious she is, and as she signs her flight into the Force canopy, we see several of those gross moth things flying around up there. Anyway, she has a plan, and she has Yord follow her as they run back to help. Back at the ongoing duel, where most of the characters are now located, we have all the side characters are dead at this point.
Yeah.
So we've now concentrated everyone together. Soul and Jecki are taking on the Master, and May is also there.
Yes.
So and with Yord and Osha on the way.
Yeah.
So he headbutts Soul's saber as like an intentional aggressive move, disabling it, which transitions Soul into like this force food mode where he just takes him on in like a hand-to-hand combat way. It's interesting here. I do think that Chimere's toying with him a bit because his saber does work and he chooses not to pull it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That being said, if you're hand-to-hand combat, you can get inside of a saber's like reach. And once you get inside a saber's reach, you can kind of be more, if you had a knife, for instance, that, a knife can beat a sword if you get inside. Right? So, as we see shortly after. So anyway, he knocks him back with a cool Jedi like throw move. This gives Jecki an opening. She uses her elbow because they've learned their lesson on the trying to use her saber on it. She uses her elbow on the Master's head, knocking his helmet off and breaking it. It's unclear if it's broken or
it looks like I think it's just in two pieces.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's got like a front and then like a back.
I agree with that. I think that's the case. I don't think you can break metal with your elbow.
I also don't think the whole thing is made out of that material, whatever it's called. I feel like it's just like the front, like kind of part. I don't know. I have a feeling it's not.
Yeah, that's probably true. But either way, his helmet comes off. And as you mentioned, you get a much better shot of it in color. It's got that bronzy look to it, and again has that Katsugi look to it, which gives that Knights of Ren. I guess we can talk about this now since his helmet's off, and there is this concept, and as we get into it in a little bit here, about him saying that you would call me a Sith. Right. I don't think that necessarily means that he is a Sith.
Right.
That is an open kind of depends on how you look at it. Yeah. From a certain point of view, right?
Yeah.
And so that's an option. It's possible that he is an early Knight of Ren, as it were. We do get that musical cue, which I think lends that theory a lot of weight.
Yeah.
You don't just throw in, Kylo Ren's music in there for no
reason. Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. It's slower that they use it, but it's there. It's definitely there.
Yeah.
So it's either a accident that someone accidentally came up with the same musical cue.
It's not an accident.
It seems unlikely.
Like
right? It's intentional. Everything in the show is intentional. There's no reason to believe that this
catching it, that's people creating it.
I didn't actually catch it. Star Wars Twitter caught it, but
fair enough.
I did. I did listen and can confirm.
Yeah.
I do feel like that's also true. But I guess from my opinion, like from my point of view here, both feel equally plausible at this point.
Yeah,
that he is a Sith. And and then he does kill everybody, and that's how we explain it away. That they've been in hiding for 1,000 years or whatever. Or he's not a Sith, and that's just a misunderstanding or a mislabeling of it, right? That being said, I think if it's like, oh no, I'm not technically a Sith, I'm this other thing.
Yeah,
I feel like feels like a bit of a weird kind of like mental
Cop out.
gymnastics thing you have to do to be like, oh, no, it wasn't a Sith. We don't have to worry about them. They're still extinct because technically he was this other offshoot splinter group of the Sith. So it's this different thing.
I think there's still weight in the fact that like he says that word to Saul. Like,
I agree.
It's like, because he's basically told him now that he's a Sith. So like Saul's days are numbered in my opinion.
Well,
here. It's, I don't know. We'll get to it in one of the next scenes.
Saul's carrying around all this guilt for something that we don't know he did yet.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna he's gonna reach or receive absolution.
Yeah, he's the last one left.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting theory. I'm open to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's another really interesting theory. I'm gonna see if I can find it by looking at some of the tweets I liked. There was, I'm trying to remember what it was now. But anyway,
I definitely like the Knights of Ren theory for sure. I think that's quite cool. And like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know that they've been around before Kylo Ren. Like they've been around for forever. So, but maybe it's, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a cop out, but I don't think it is. It's well, I'm interested in it at least. So
okay, hold on. I'm getting there.
It's very specific as to like why he does say it that way. Like you would call me a Sith. So it's, whether he is or he isn't, I think it's still relevant.
Oh man, I'm trying to find it here. There was a really cool theory. Again, just talking about the Sith thing.
Yeah.
He didn't say he was a Sith. He said the Jedi might call him that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Jedi believed that the Sith had been extinct for a millennium. Obviously, that wasn't correct, right?
Yeah.
So when someone says like, well, that's what they said.
It was
the whole
never
point was
correct.
that they were never right about
the
that,
point
right?
is it was never correct. They weren't gone. But it's like, how were they in hiding? How did they not know? All of that, right? So, but yeah, he says it himself. Like, now that you've seen my face, now that you know, like, he's like, I have to kill you all.
So this is from one of my my stable of Star Wars YouTubers that I like, Eckhart's Ladder. He says,
yes, okay.
kind of the opinion that Old Toothy or Old Toothy he calls him here, or Darth Teeth.
Yeah.
Isn't actually a Sith. I think he's an early Knight of Ren or something. I think he doesn't know what he is, but that the Sith exist otherwise, as they have for 1,000 years, and may have to. The Sith may actually have to take him out.
Yeah, I can see that.
For being, too loud and maybe revealing himself.
Absolutely, I can see that because he's already saying like the Jedi don't let me exist, but then also the Sith probably aren't going to let you exist if you're walking around being dark side and saying you're a Sith. It's if that gets back to whoever is out and about at this point, like they're for sure going to come after you. So, and that's probably also why he needs to kill them because he's like, now that you know that, like my life is in danger from something bigger and worse than just the Jedi. I don't think he gives a shit about the Jedi. I think it's more, I feel like there's probably a bigger bad that he's worried about finding out that he let people know that he exists.
Okay. I agree with basically everything you just said. Okay, so where were we? The big reveal.
Yeah, and like the worst point. Yeah.
Right.
Not the worst, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's
my saddest point in the episode.
To me, it's wild.
Yeah.
So this is, for my money, the craziest part of the episode, right? Because he steps back, pulls a section of his lightsaber off the end of his hilt, creating a shorter second blade.
So cool.
Jecki attacks. Not Jackie attacks. Anyway, Jecki attacks again, but she's quickly killed by Chimere using that second blade.
Yeah.
3 quick stabs to the chest.
Yeah.
And we see it from behind, and we see the saber come through her chest.
Yeah.
That is a pretty badass way to go out. I will say.
It is.
And it's pretty bold of the show to show us that on a character that, again, I think probably was the most likable character.
Yeah, she's super likable. Is, as Saul says in a minute, she's young.
Just a kid,
She's
right?
just a kid. Like, that death got me. I was like, no. I yelled.
First I said, he did what with his lightsaber? And then I was like, Jecki, no!
Yeah, I know. Apparently Starkiller has a lightsaber like that.
Well, Starkiller is not Legends. But I would say, So they had said
But it's cool that
previously,
it's like a short blade.
yes,
It's not like the same
yeah,
length.
it's super cool.
So I like that it's like pulling a dagger out of your sword.
Yeah, it's like when if you have like
really cool.
Yeah,
like a dagger in your boot, or like
something like that.
like a knife in your toe of your boot kind of
I
thing.
like to think of it like the handle of your cane or your
umbrella.
umbrella.
The umbrella thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But either way, they had said this. Other than the light whip, we would see one other unique lightsaber type in this
So that's
series.
obviously what it
So
is,
this is probably what it is. And I got to be honest, I think both the style and design of Kymir's lightsaber
So
is super cool. I love like the gunmetal look of it.
Yeah.
And then this like accessory essentially is maybe one of the coolest things. And I guess you think about it, like it's kind of similar to the modular lightsaber that you have in the Jedi games.
Okay.
Where you can kind of go from single blade to double blade or break it into
like
two blades. So it's kind of like that. And so they said that a unique lightsaber that we haven't seen in live action.
Yeah.
So we technically have seen it in
which is cool because, you do see that. You see the dual sabers and people who can like light the dual saber and break them in half, which is like cool to have too.
Yeah.
But we haven't really seen like the whole dagger one. Like
it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's badass.
Yeah, it's very badass.
I think if you were a hater, this has got to be like
that's what I mean.
You can't possibly dislike that.
It's
okay.
A very good bad guy saber.
Yes, and a cool murder. If I'm being honest.
Yeah,
so
it was a crazy death for her.
R.I.P. to Jecki, easily one of my favorite characters on this show.
Yeah.
So then the camera pulls back. The big reveal. Turns out it's Kymir. Everyone said, yeah, we knew already.
Yeah. We're like, yep.
I talked about this kind of like the Palpatine connection there and kind of the similar kind of sense of that. Osha, this is confusing. There's one shot of Osha who seems to either saw this happen or sense that it's happened because I can't tell if she's there yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like she's arrived yet to have witnessed it, but it's also looks like she maybe did, but it's just shot in such a way that it's unclear, and so I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sol is devastated, right?
Yeah.
She yells her name, and then we get this absolutely jerk sauce line from Kymir.
Jerk sauce.
Was that its name?
That line, the reading of it, the like,
so snarky
that like
and
smarmy, like. And that it's just, it guts you. Like, I felt that in the pit of my stomach when he said that. Was that its name? Like, you called her it? And like, you just have no
the it thing is so, I think, specific to the Sith who, not always, but are often human beings or because they have this human-centric, xenophobic view. At least, when we certainly have colored a view on that because of our understanding of Palpatine.
Yes.
But in general, it seems like, and maybe I shouldn't generalize, but we've seen enough of that to be able to draw a line there to say, well, he might not respect aliens as much.
Yeah.
Even though technically I think Jecki's part human.
Yeah.
Half human.
That hurt me. I was like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Like, but and to say that to Saul too when he's, it's just
exactly that moment.
Levels. It's like, oh my God, it was gutting.
Yeah. Saul collects himself. He says, she was a child. He says, you brought her here. This is an indictment on the Jedi and their child soldiers, right?
And I love how the way he shrugs there too. He's like,
it's like,
you
again,
brought her here.
as I said at the beginning, if you engage in this type, when this shit hits the fan, it's kill or be killed. And when you bring a child into this, if they are killed, it's on you for not protecting them.
Yeah, especially and honestly, if it's your Padawan too, like man, like
that's rough. I don't think there's not much coming back from it having your Padawan murdered in front of you.
No, I don't think so.
Saul is not either long for this world or certainly not long for the Jedi Order. So he looks over at May and says, he says hello in the way that Kymir says hello. He like chains the lilt in his voice a little bit. And I just feel like that's so disturbing.
It is.
This idea that I've been a different person this whole time.
It's like that dual personality thing. Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's a whole thing going on in the Star Wars community online. One of the Star Wars like personalities turns out was like catfishing everybody the whole time. It was, I guess that's not the right word, but like was misrepresenting who they were. And like this just recently came out like this week. So there's a little bit of
was that on Twitter?
Yeah, there's going back and forth on Twitter. Yeah,
what was the name?
I can't remember what their name is. I don't even know.
Because they were like using other people's. Was it that Ash Rendar? Is that what it was?
Maybe that's
I
what
saw
it is.
that
Yes,
a little
I
bit
think
of
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is I don't keep up with the drama, like the inter-YouTuber drama that goes on. It's hard being a Star Wars YouTuber. I'm not. No one says it's easy, but it is wild, that whole situation. Anyway, she had a fake personality, or they had a fake personality,
and like using people's photos without permission and shit.
Yeah,
too. Like some weird shit.
Ick. Yeah, icky.
It's not cool.
And just like this feels icky when someone just like she says, like he says it to her like that. And anyway, he uses that moment to toss off his cloak, throwing it onto Saul.
Yeah.
This is like, it's a funny move.
It is a funny move.
And force pulling May into his grasp. You really didn't know it was me, not even deep down, right? He says to her, and again, as you said before, kind of like an indictment on like, were you really such a fool?
Yeah.
That and if you were, maybe you weren't as good an apprentice as I thought you were.
Right. Yeah.
And this is where you get the best look at his jacked ass arms.
Yeah. They're good.
Just ripped. How did we not notice? But I guess he was wearing like
I think
cloaks
he had
and
cloaks and whatnot on before, but like, yeah. He's a good looking Sith.
Yeah,
now.
He is. Yeah. It's very rare that we get a good look. Anakin, if he hadn't been cut in half, would have been pretty.
I feel like maybe that's part of it too. I was like, ooh, he's jacked, and then you're just like, oh, he's kind of like.
Which limb is he going to lose?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How is he going to end up with? How is he going to end up with a breather device of some kind? They all have to have one. So
I think there's going to be some fangirling over this guy now,
or can like melt his skin like Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone posted, they're like, can I just make a statement without someone getting mad at me? And it was just a picture of his arms.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah, it's funny.
I get it. They're good arms.
Yeah. Saul, having regained his composure, attacks Chimere, but he's able to easily deflect it while also maintaining control of May. You attack me with my back turned. That's not very Jedi of you. Using their rules against him, right? He puts his saber to May's head. I think the idea of putting a saber to someone's head like it's a gun,
like a gun is
it's not the first time we've seen it, but I think it's a really cool new thing that we've seen in Star Wars.
Yeah, right? It is, because it's like usually it's like to their neck or like
right, because
it's
like it's on and off, and they're dead.
Yeah,
right. It might as well be a gun. I think it's a really threatening.
The visual
thing.
Of that is like ooh, yeah,
because you understand exactly what the threat is, right? Anyway, so. He puts his saber to May's head. Saul throws his weapon down, like, don't hurt her, right? So he says to him, what are you? He says, I have no name, but the Jedi like you might call me Sith. And we've talked about this already.
Yeah.
That from a certain point of view could either be seen as him admitting that he is a Sith, or, and again, the show said that we wanted to tell a story from the Sith perspective.
Right,
so if you take it at that face value, then sure, right? But also, again, he might be just kind of deflecting here, so kind of playing into their own ideas of what this could be. That being said, the Jedi haven't assumed that they were dead for 1,000 years. Might not be the first thing to jump to. In fact, we've already seen them not jump to that conclusion multiple times, right? He says, why risk discovery, right? Kind of connecting the dots there.
Yeah.
My mouse is
I don't know if everyone's going to hear that.
I don't think anyone heard that.
Yeah.
It just really loud blibbling from my Windows computer. Anyway, he says, why risk discovery, right? Connecting the dots, saying basically like, okay, so if you're a Sith and my assumption is that you have been dead for 1,000 years, then why now, right? And why just to murder a few Jedi, right? Like it seems like that's not really well thought out. His response is kind of funny. Well, I did wear a mask.
Yeah, man, I really like his.
He's got a good sense of humor.
He's got a good sense of humor, and like his line reading is so good. Like, because that line reading to me gives a bit of Chimere, but also a little bit of that like Sith Lord vibe. Like that's a good mix of his two kind of like personas. So like this actor is like
you go watch the Good Place, and it's
is he in there? Yeah,
very different performance in that show.
No, I just think his line readings are really really good, and
he's
like
hilarious in that show, man.
Yeah, I like the way he chooses to read a lot of these lines.
Yeah. There was some criticism of some of May and Osha's line readings. It's like you could have maybe tried a few more as the joke.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like, I don't know. I was fine with them. So I'm fine with the performances here.
Yeah.
Why risk discovery? Well, I did wear a mask.
Yeah.
What do you want? Freedom. The freedom to wield my power the way I want without having to answer to the Jedi like you. Oh, he's just a libertarian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Sith are just libertarians. He doesn't want to pay taxes, and he doesn't want to. Police shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
I should just be able to do whatever I want.
Sounds good.
Might equals right.
Yeah.
And if I'm the strongest, then I should be able to have whatever I want, and not have to live under your these rules of right and wrong. I should be able to kill who I want, do what I want because I'm stronger than you.
Yeah,
and that is obviously not a sustainable model. There's a reason. It's like the Jedi. It's like, well, it's not that they just don't want other
Force users. Yeah.
I think there's a distinction there. I think that there is a conversation to be had about their opinion on other Force users in general.
Yeah.
That being said,
it's about how you use it and how that affects others.
Right. How you behave.
Yeah.
Right. Like people in the real world are given power, and if they abuse it, that's against the rules and should be punished for it.
Yeah.
Right. His argument here is that because I have power, I don't have to answer to rules.
Yeah, I should be able to do whatever I want.
Yeah, and again, that's like for a society to function, that can't work, even in a galactic society.
No.
Right? He says, I want a pupil, an acolyte. But this one went back on her heel. She exposed me, so now I have to kill every single last one of you. I don't make the rules, the Jedi do, and as the Jedi say, I can't exist.
Yeah.
They see my face, they all die.
Yeah.
So again, this line feels like it adds a lot more credence to he is just a Sith, right? And his understanding of the Sith, the Jedi's perception of the Sith.
Yeah, yeah.
That being said, I think there's still wiggle room here. I like that he says this one, talking about an acolyte, implying that he's had others or has others now. He says he collects people in last episode, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
She exposed me, which is why he wants her dead. He doesn't want her to be able to reveal this valuable information about him.
Yeah.
But it does come back to the why risk discovery? So I guess the answer to that seemingly is in an effort to find an acolyte.
Yes.
I put my identity or my presence at risk.
Yeah.
But it was a worthwhile trade so that I could accumulate enough power through having acolytes to either overthrow my master. But ultimately, like if you think about it, what's the long-term play? If you want to be free from the Jedi, it means overthrowing all the Jedi. Killing 10 of them, although impressive, doesn't destroy the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
They're only able to do that in 100 and something years from now, 130 years, when Palpatine is able to, frame them and destroy them.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate destruction of the Jedi. This is ineffectual. It's too emotionally driven. Of course that's the Sith way, but
it is the way,
just that there's not enough planning here, or there's not enough steps forward, which I think lends more credence to your idea that he's ultimately not the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah, I don't think he is, because he's wanting acolytes, not apprentices, which is different. And we've always heard Sith, like we hear Maul, even though he's
his line reading of apprentice is always great.
Like, apprentice. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
but like because at that point in like Clone Wars or not in Rebels, like Maul isn't the head Sith, but he's wanting to like overthrow. Right?
Well, at that point, he's not even a Sith at all. He's not a Sith. He's just Maul.
Yeah, but he still wants an apprentice, right?
Yeah.
Not an acolyte. It's different.
Right.
It's
right.
Specific wording.
Yeah. So like, we haven't really used the term acolyte very often, so it could be new terminology that we're introducing here that was lost over time or whatever. But either way, I think you're right. I think there's hints at that.
Yeah.
And then this is a confusing line to me. Look at you two, right? Talking about May and Sol, right back where you started. I guess, is he implying that this all started when he arrived on their planet and she started the fire, quote unquote, or what's he kind of getting at here?
I don't know. Because I guess Osha's not there yet, right?
No.
So I think originally I thought he was talking about him and Osha like protecting each other again, right? But,
or just like his inability to save her. It's just like last time you weren't able to save her. Because she doesn't, like, he still has control of her at this point, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's that. I don't know.
Or it's like conflict that she started too, because that's what it was last time. Like her starting the fire and like all that, right?
Right.
So yeah,
I don't know. That's an odd one. I would like people's opinions on that would be good. Okay, Yord emerges from the forest, force pulling the mask off the ground. He goes for a kill shot on Chimera, but Chimera deflects it with his gauntlet. So he's got the mask, and one gauntlet, so he's able to deflect with. Yord then uses the mask to disable Kymir's saber, so it's kind of like a tit for tat situation. And then they get tied up. And he says, "You," like he's surprised that it's Kymir, right? Recognizes him. Surprise. And then it's an unlucky surprise because Kymir breaks Yord's arm and spins him around and breaks his neck.
Snaps his neck. I was not
R.I.P.
expecting that.
No, me neither. Very violent, right?
Because I feel like it all happened so quick, like Jecki and then Yord
in the
and
same
you're just
episode.
Like, whoa! Like you're just. I thought they were all gonna die. Like
once that happened, I was like, okay, well then Soul's dead.
Soul's dead.
Everyone's dead at this point, and I think that makes the show so much more interesting.
It does, right? Because there's like nobody has protection. Like I was not expecting to lose Jecki and Yord in this at all, or all those other Jedi. Like Saul's the only one left at this point.
Yeah,
out of everyone who showed up there, and that's nuts. That we just lost. Like,
well, don't forget Basil.
Well, Basil, yeah, okay, Basil,
yeah, it is nuts.
Yeah, I was just like, whew, okay,
and it's nuts too because Soul ultimately when they leave all those bodies and they leave all those sabers there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, that's not the typical Jedi way.
No.
But I guess they're retreating and don't have time, right? Okay, so R.I.P. Yord. Feel for the Yord Horde.
Yord Horde.
They're all in mourning. May makes another break for it for like the 5th time. Yeah. But this time it's Osha who puts her down with the stun blaster after looking into the dead eyes of Yord, thinking about, oh, this is my bad.
Yeah.
Soul, processing all of this, attacks him again. This time hand to hand. They each get some good shots in, but Saul is clearly in control. He ignites his saber. He's ready to finish him off, right? He's got a, no, it's not the Jedi way moment situation.
Yeah.
Going there, do it.
I immediately thought here, when that happened, I was like, she just killed him. Like, he's dead. I thought, like, Kymir was going to kill him immediately after that.
Me too. Once this happened, I was like, okay.
Like, he hesitated.
I feel like the hesitating could have put him down.
Yeah.
But maybe Kymir has bigger plans here. Or didn't want to risk like trying and then ultimately, because like he's not going to fight an unarmed person or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, Osha stops him. I'm not sure why though.
Yeah.
Like
why do
you just
care?
saw Osha. Osha just saw all these Jedi murdered. Yord and Jecki are dead. Yord in front of your eyes by this guy.
Yeah.
Why are you? You're not a Jedi. Why are you stopping him exactly? What? I mean, I'm not advocating for vigilante justice necessarily, but it just. Maybe what she's saying is like you're better than this.
Yeah,
but
like so, like don't do it to yourself.
Maybe he's too much he's too dangerous to be left alive.
Yeah,
as Mace Windu would say,
he's too dangerous to be left alive. Yeah,
yeah.
Usually,
and he was right. And he was, by the way,
correct.
He was right.
Yeah,
yeah. Unfortunately, he went flying through a window shortly afterwards. Okay, so you think that Mace survived that? This has been a long time. Fan theory that he survived.
They need
we'll
to
see him
stop
come back
it
in some way.
We can't keep bringing.
Not every Jedi can survive Order 66.
Yeah.
So he got force lightning out of a window and then dropped who knows how far.
Yeah, we can't keep bringing back Jedi that we really like. Sometimes they just need to stay dead.
It would be nice to have Samuel Jackson back. I just say that. Anyway, although I don't know what story they could possibly tell that'd be interesting. So anyway, Osha, this is your master. You must... okay, sorry, let me back up. I did reframe this. So he tells him to stop. She tells him to stop. He has him at saber point, right? Kymir says to Osha, this is your master. You trust him after everything he's done to you. Saul interjects, stopping him before he can say anything more. His mind is twisted by darkness.
Right.
Classic Jedi thing to say. His response, interesting. I've accepted my darkness. What have you done with yours? Right? I guess the implication is that you've just buried it. You've you've bottled it up. It's clearly there. May has told me enough to know that that you're now innocent here.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big indictment against Soul as a Jedi in general.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess in theory you could meditate it away, but
you could.
This idea that his perspective is that darkness is a part of me, this great Jedi concept, I guess, that you need to embrace all parts of you, right? Something you can't learn that from a Jedi, right?
Right. Yeah, not from a Jedi. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, I just think it's a more insight into Sith stuff.
Yeah.
We get so little of it that this is, I feel like, a cool.
It is cool. It's
examination. If it turns out to be actually Sith stuff. Which probably. Sol steps back. A moth flies overhead. Pip pipes up. Osha signals to Sol, who seems to understand. So she's like, don't kill him, but we'll let these bugs take him.
Yeah, we'll let the moths eat him.
It's the, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you type of situation.
Yeah. Get that way out.
So Sol steps back. The Jedi don't attack the unarmed. Although, again, he was armed. So anyway, rules. This is so like, it's so, he's so satisfied by just being like, oh, finally, I get to benefit from all these rules, but I can do whatever I want. So if you never follow them, you never have to break them.
Yeah.
He says, giving Osha a look like, almost like he's already kind of pinpointing her as, oh, maybe you can be my next apprentice.
Yeah.
Right? He grabs his saber again. And then we cut to Osha, who has Pip's head. And so I love you, Pip, she says. How often do we see people say I love you to their droids?
Not very often.
Not enough.
You're right.
Not enough.
I would all the time.
Yeah. Me too. Just like I say I love you to my dog all the time.
Yeah, droids are dogs.
It's
Yeah.
But they're also people.
Well, not like, you know what I mean. The astromechs and the helper ones, like the protocol droids, those are people. Like, if they look like a human.
Those are people without rights, just to be clear. Yeah.
If they can't talk, they're dogs.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
What was it? Dio?
Beeps and gonks.
What about Dio? He's a little bit of both.
He's a little bit of both. Yeah. He's like a parrot.
No. What's he say? Like, don't touch.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
So cute.
That is cute. Yeah. Anyway, he gives her a cute beep boop in return.
Yeah.
And he lights up before Osha sticks it. This reminds me of R4, by the way. I think it's R4, the red astromech in New Hope, who's the bad motivator.
This one's got a bad motivator.
Yeah, exactly. I just think of the, I think it's a Family Guy joke, and it's like cuts to the droid like lying on the couch and being like, someone like, get a job. And he's like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the From a Certain Point of View book that tells like stories of all these little side characters,
right?
They tell the story of that droid. R2 basically tells him, listen, I need to figure this out, because if they take you and I get taken by the Jawas, it's all over. I got these plans. I need to help the rebellion.
Right,
And he's like, okay, I'll help you out, buddy.
And he blows his own motivator. Yeah.
So it's like, this makes me think of like for Pip, it's like, okay, here's my chance to like do something big.
Yeah.
This is my moment
chance.
to shine.
It's my moment.
Right?
Yeah. I can take down the Sith Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, she sticks it in the back of his shirt. And he slashes out at her. Does she get hit in the side here?
Yeah.
Is that what happens? Okay, because that's
that makes more sense too on how he knows it's her.
I just
later.
I don't, because I was thinking like, I don't remember May ever getting sliced in the side. And to be honest, if it happens at this moment, it's not very well established.
Yeah, that makes more sense though, because he looks at that wound too.
Yes, and force seals it.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Causing the moss to swarm Chimere, ultimately picking him up and carrying him away in what is maybe not the best
I didn't
CG,
like the CG.
but it is what it is.
But whatever.
As the music once again gives a very strong horror vibes here. It's like ramping up lots of strings. It's like, and he's like carried away. It's cool watching like slice through a couple of them, but there's like too many. I love it when the Sith get like overwhelmed by nature.
Right? Because it's just not their thing.
They can't really control it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Osha jumps right into questioning Sol. She feels like this is the right moment to start asking him.
Now you ask your questions.
Why did he say I couldn't trust you? What did you do?
Mm-hmm.
I think you could argue that wasn't also the best line reading.
Yeah.
Please, Osha, let me explain. And he looks genuinely hurt here.
He does.
There's been so much crazy shit.
Yeah.
This is a very touchy subject. I already said I'd tell you, just give me a moment before we jump to conclusions. May, from behind, though, force pulls Osha's stun blaster off her hip, shooting Sol, knocking him out before he's able to do that. Cut to the sun rising over a mountain, right? Night is over. It is now dawn, right? And it's a nice way to kind of like reset things. The tone really changes here, right? So now it's the first time the sisters have been alone since they've found out that they were alive. Right? That each other were alive. May throws away the blaster. Osha asks, what have you done? May's response is, I did what I needed to do for you, for our family. right? I love, anytime someone does something terrible, they always say, I did what I needed to do or had to do, right? It's kind of a bad excuse. Osha sees her as selfish. He says that it's like everything you've ever done has been for yourself.
Right.
Including what's happened here. It was all because of you, and now look, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
And that's your fault, right? The Jedi got what they deserved, she says.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fascinating because, again, last week she's like, I'll turn myself into the Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. Now she's like, they're fine.
I guess, in my opinion, it's fair to hold two concepts together. I can turn myself into the cops, but also still hate the cops.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So,
and I mean, she does have like a different story to what happened, right?
Right.
So, and we don't know that side yet.
And I would exactly. And I think we'll get more of that going forward.
Yeah.
Those Jedi were more my family than you ever were, which is a pretty mean thing to say.
That's a harsh thing to say to your twin, for sure.
And she says in return, have you forgotten who we are? Who we are? Again, I think maybe a hint there to like there being more to their
dynamic
heritage and dynamic there, where we come from, right? Is she talking about their home on that planet, or is she talking about like
how they were
created?
Yeah.
They invaded our home. But then that kind of hints that they're talking about more about the planet. But again, from a certain point of view, Osha accuses her of being the violent one. It's like, what do you mean they didn't invade? You started the fire. And the Jedi saved me, and I have to thank them for that. And then this is kind of sad. This is where the first time I feel like we're seeing it from the Sith point of view, because she says they've brainwashed you.
Yeah,
they've turned you against me, which again another great callback Anakin line.
Yeah, you've turned her against me. You did that yourself.
Yes, exactly. Such amazing. It's so stilted, those line readings anyway. But it's okay. It's okay, Osha. I can help you. I can help you return to yourself. They hug. I love how she kind of like goes in slow, kind of like, don't hurt me, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. This is just a hug, I swear. Right. And we get a second I love you in this. I love you. Don't choose them again. Please choose me. Choose us. It's a genuine call for help from May. Yeah. Right. I was ready to throw away this whole Sith thing. I haven't told you that yet, but I was ready to throw away this whole Sith thing. Yeah. For you. And you already weren't a Jedi, so things were going to be fine. Yeah. If discounting the fact the whole murder thing, which you would have had to pay for. Osha slowly returns the hug. But there's this whole element where she's like, you still were a criminal. You still killed people. You still need to pay for your crimes. And I think that's a fair perspective. Osha can, again, carrying two thoughts at once or ideas at once. Definitely. I can love you as my sister, but you're still a criminal. Yeah, you still did awful things. You're still a bad person. Yeah. Anyway, and then we say we both survived. All we have is each other now, right? And we get this cool spinning shot where you see both their faces and you can like, oh, look, they really are twins in the same shot, right? So some good whatever work they did there in special effects. We get this one Osha sheds a tear, right, moment. She accuses her of being a criminal, had to pay for her crimes. She's planning on arresting her. You followed a false master. So did you, right? She's like talking about Soul and the Jedi. May wants her to leave Soul out of the conversation, believing that she saved her life. And what kind of life is that, huh? A life without purpose, without love, without family. He led you nowhere, right? Yeah. So again, perspective from the Sith. I think this is a little disingenuous, right? She did have purpose when she was with the Jedi. Yeah. She could. Yeah. Love is actually a part of, as Anakin rightly explains, the Jedi are supposed to love. That's the whole. He kind of manipulates that whole thing for his own gain, but a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. But for this purposes, we'll use that as evidence. And then says, so without family, and she rightly points out that the Jedi were her family, right? And she did leave the Jedi Order, so you could argue that she did get led nowhere, so that's fair enough there. But anyway, and then May force pushes her, knocking her out because she's so easily knocked out. And then you get that you never could block, which of course we saw in episode 3. Yes. May takes a fallen yellow saber from one of those, I think one of the human Jedi. Yeah. Makes a big show of this. I think it's like this big dramatic moment. Where she cuts her hair. Yeah. Told you she had really long hair. Yes. At the back. And it finally paid off. Yeah. Right. And we get this like they look the same now. Female choral music here, kind of like a reverse of the something similar to what we heard in episode 3 with the witches, and also a little bit like a callback to the choral music of Revenge of Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
So I like that. We see Pip's head fall from the forest floor. So that's anything you want to say about May and Osha here before we get to that?
No. Sorry.
We'll both take a sip of water at the same time.
I just fully
went down the wrong
choked,
way.
Yeah. But no, I mean, obviously it's like, I feel like May's whole thing has just been, even from when she was a kid, was trying to get Osha back to her, trying to get her, like pull her in. And Osha still is pushing her away because she's like extra, like, you've just murdered like a bunch of people. Like, I can't.
They both have,
like, it's,
they both have good,
just push pull between the two of them, right?
They both have valid points, I feel.
Yeah, no, they do. They absolutely do.
So like May's perspective before was like, just love being a twin with me.
Yeah.
And like, she still kind of has that perspective, but there's a little bit more to it than that now.
Like, I'll leave the Sith, you leave the Jedi. Let's just like be twins and like just like have like we're family, right? So I totally understand where she's coming from. But then like she's just like, well, if you're not gonna, then I'm just gonna have to figure this out for you.
Yeah. And so what's her plan here?
I mean, I guess infiltrating the Jedi, but like I don't really know what her plan is. Like what is she gonna kill Saul? But I mean, I don't know if she still wants to kill him or not.
Maybe it's an opportunity to get like insight into Moshe's perspective.
Yeah.
That would be very mature of her.
I mean,
in an underhanded way.
Yeah.
Also, you feel like Saul would be able to, I feel like he does look a little confused.
Yeah.
He was knocked out or whatever, but like you should be able to sense that you're a Padawan versus their twin, but I guess maybe that's the power of twins.
That's part of it. Yeah, probably.
I don't know. In general, my feeling on this is time will tell, but I would I don't know. I guess if Chimere knew that she was May, he might have just killed her. But now that May's out of his grasp, Osha provides a different opportunity.
Yes.
And I think that's an interesting dynamic that's interesting to explore.
Yeah.
And then Saul not knowing that May is Osha or whatever, like that May is in disguise as Osha, also provides an interesting story dynamic for how they approach next steps. What this confession ultimately means, which Osha will ultimately not hear, at least not in this way, and may never like it. May never hear it. I was just reading that comment from Andrew Wordna on YouTube. Smash like. I 100% agree. Smash that like button, as they say on the YouTube. We're not really big YouTube's people, but like technically we are now. So
we're here.
Yeah.
So
we have got a few new subscribers over the last month, which has been nice. So thanks to all those who are new. Appreciate you. What was I saying? Oh, well, Osha may never hear that confession.
Yes.
Though we will eventually, I think it's very possible that next week's episode is a flashback, so we might actually just get to see what happened.
I'm assuming that's what we're going to get next week.
Because if it's not next week, then it's either the penultimate episode or the ultimate episode or the final episode, which means that like, that just doesn't work from a storytelling perspective.
No.
I think you have to have 2 episodes to wrap up the story you're telling.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do a flashback episode or another full one, maybe it's not full. We'll see. It's got to be next week.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what Destiny, right, will be called that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so cut back to Saul, who wakes up to see Osha. Oh, wait, quickly. We see Pip head fall from the forest ceiling as Chimere drops down as well, having survived the moths. As he walks away, Basil pops up out of nowhere, finds Pip, pips it up, runs off. My assumption is that Pip is going to be the one that reveals this whole switcheroo situation.
Yeah, well, Basil's like sniffing him too. Basil's sniffing him. He's like, you don't smell right. Like, or about Osha or about, May.
Right. I smell burnt hair. Something's wrong here.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's nice to know that Pip is not down for the count.
Yes.
So despite all the deaths, Pip is not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God, because we can't handle the dog dying. Cut back to Saul, who wakes up to see Osha, likely May in disguise. I mean, almost 100%.
Yeah.
Telling him that May is gone. This is so stupid, though. She's like, where is she? And she's like, who? And she's like, your sister, obviously. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's dumb. That's a dumb line.
It is a dumb line.
I have no way to defend it. It's stupid.
It is.
They head back to the ship. It's cool seeing the landing area in fog and like at dawn with like this like orange lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool. Aboard the ship, we see Basil has followed them, but he's like holding Pip and like kind of like
he's
holding back.
He's sniffing the air. Yeah.
Curious. Back with Chimere and the Master, / the Master. He's retrieving his helmet. he finds Osha.
Mm-hmm.
She appears to have a wound on her side. Again, our assumption is it happened when when she put the light in his back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And he force heals her.
Yeah, I didn't notice that he healed her.
Yeah,
yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So
yeah. So
that's
he's like
wild.
Yeah.
Right. So an ability that you can't learn from the Jedi until Rey brings it back with a Force dyad in like 100 and almost 200 years.
Yeah.
From now. So
there you go.
That is wild. How that works, I would like to know more about, like how he understands that.
Yeah.
Is that maybe it's something like, it doesn't seem like the Force heal is a Sith move, but
no,
the mind trick also doesn't really feel like a Jedi move either. So
that's true.
The lightning though definitely feels like a Sith move.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
Anyway, he heals her wound. He says at this while he's doing this, "What extraordinary beings we are." This reminds me of Yoda's line, "What luminous beings we are." Right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And so like this gives this character like ultimately a lot more depth, even in this last moment here.
Yeah.
Even in the revelation of our triumph, we see the depth of our despair. It's so weird because we haven't heard any dialogue, anything like this for the entire series so far. I don't want to unpack it too much. I think really what he's saying here is, again, I think that the connection to what luminous beings we are, to the Yoda line with what extraordinary beings we are, is both about him healing her, but also her surviving, and also the coincidence of her being Osha, not May, and that being like, wow, how interesting the Force works, right, and through us, right, and then even in the revelation of our triumph. So he's saying, even despite having killed all these Jedi and having succeeded in doing so, we see the depth of our own despair, right? How these small moments can break our heart, or this feels like a little bit more complex than I feel like we have time for right now. But I just think it's fascinating to see this character we haven't seen this side of, and so being able to maybe have him interact with Osha next week and be able to explore that dynamic a bit more it's going to be
really cool. And I think he 100% knows it's her. Like he knows it's Osha.
Oh yeah, because we get that like really strong shot of her
of her tattoo and everything. The way he covers her up, like he's just going to take her for sure. And
so he's got a bargaining chip.
Yeah, exactly. And he knows that he can get to May with Osha too.
So what do you what do you mean? What do you think he means by the depth of his despair?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if he means like the despair of like his learner like betraying him
right.
And then he's like seeing her twin sister. So he's just like, oh, I've triumphed here, but now I'm looking at you, and all I'm thinking of is like I want to say Padawan, but my
apprentice,
acolyte, my acolyte, but something like that. But it's probably a little bit more than that, a little more in depth.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that like he's looking at this as not entirely a triumph at all. Like, he killed some Jedi, which is a triumph, right? But
he didn't get what he wanted.
The triumph, right? And that he's in despair because he ultimately lost this in some way. I don't know. Yeah,
because he doesn't have the right twin.
Right.
So he's like,
So it's interesting. I don't know. We'll be curious to see how we unpack that more. Anyway, we see Osha's tattoo as he places the cloak over her as if it's a blanket. We've seen a caring side to Chimera a few times.
Yeah.
This is interesting. It's just not something we're used to seeing from the Sith. So
well, like you said, he likes to collect people. So here's one more person he can kind of like manipulate and collect and whatever.
Yeah,
so
absolutely true. And then we cut to credits. And that is all.
So good.
Long episode that we've been recording for.
Yeah.
Technically, we were recording. So this is maybe 2 hours because there was probably a little bit ahead of time before we started. So this time clock that I'm looking at, not entirely accurate. That being said, this is the second week in a row we've done 2 hours on a 30-minute episode. So appreciate you. I know there's still 5 people on the live stream. Thank you for listening this long or being here this long. The show will post tomorrow on the podcast feeds. And then we'll be back next week. Next week's going to be, I think next week will be fine because July, Canada Day is the beginning of the week. And I don't think we have, then 4th of July later should be fine. There might be still some things that come up over the next few weeks, depending on vacations or schedules.
Right.
So far, assume everything's going to be the same, but we'll let you know, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff, if anything changes. And of course, we look forward to chatting with all of our patrons in our Patreon Discord channel, exclusive Discord channel, where again, the conversation will continue. But until next week, May the Force be with you. And R.I.P. Yord and Jecki. Oh, it's as she says, it's always a beautiful thing seeing someone transform back into the Force.
Here we go.
We'll talk to you next week.